G'day ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Monday Meta Madness, and I'm your host, Havoc. So, what is the show, you're wondering? Basically, I'm going to be taking a deck each week. Every Monday at 6 PM PST, the stream will be going live, if you want to catch it live, although you can catch it on YouTube where you're probably watching this now, but I'll be taking a deck, or decks, maybe in the future I'll do more than one per stream, but I'll be taking a deck from the meta, and basically breaking it down, analysing it in full, and showing you how it is strong, how it is weak, what it's good against, all the sideboard stuff, pretty much everything you need to know to, like, if you're a net decker, then this is perfect for you, because I will tell you everything you need to know, every intricate detail of a deck. So today we're going to be looking at a deck that I created a bit over a week ago, and I then, pretty much the most testing I've ever done when it comes to HEX, since I've started playing, when HEX started, like 2 years ago now, it's a long time. Yeah, the most testing I've ever done to actually get a deck, and it does pay off. Testing does pay off, especially when it comes to the sideboard. So this deck started about a week ago. It's a Wintermoon deck, and let's get into it. And I'll tell you a bit more about it. So where is my thing? Here we go. We're going to click here. Alright. So I call the deck Moonshine, and I used this deck over the weekend in the 5 Shards weekly constructed tournaments. They are free to enter. So if you're looking to get into constructed, they're a good way to start, as they are free. And you can win up to 10,000 platinum. So this, the deck here, as I said, it's called Moonshine. And, sorry, got a bit of an error here. That's alright. So yeah, the deck is called Moonshine. And it is a Wintermoon deck. Now, it's got a lot of new stuff in it that makes it quite different from your standard Wintermoon that you're probably used to as of recent. So we can get into the deck list now and actually have a look at the deck itself. So let me bring that up. But as I was saying, this deck here came about from about a week and a half ago. I started, built it and then started testing and tweaking and iterating using Gauntlet, playing constructed Gauntlet, and building it from there, and then decided over the weekend there to play it in the 5 Shards weekly on the Saturday and the Sunday. I got the top 16 on the Saturday. I was streaming that on the official channel, which you can catch me every Saturday around 4 PM on the twitch.tv/HexTCG. So if you did miss those, I have actually uploaded those to my YouTube channel, which you can view at youtube.com/HexHavoc, and that has the games on there. So that's got, I think it was 4 rounds, because I've got to buy in the first round, and then there's 4 rounds of games, and there were some very, very good games there. So I recommend checking them out if you'd like to see the deck in action. But let's get into what makes it different from your standard Wintermoon. Alrighty, so let's first see if there's any questions, because I haven't actually been able to read chat right now. So let's have a quick look here. I swear he said he would be taking a D each week. No, I said deck. A deck. D-E-C-K, yeah. So it's a deck. Each week will be a different deck. And what I'm also going to do, just to let you know, is that I will also probably let you guys decide. Like, if in the YouTube comments, when this is on YouTube, you can feel free to tell me what deck from, like, hexmeta.com, let me know the deck you would like me to analyze. What would you like me to break down or even improve? Yeah. That'll be something you can do, vote in the YouTube comments, which also, speaking of which, for this episode, since it's the first one, I will have a prize. So for everyone who does vote in the YouTube comments when it's on there, there'll be a random drawing, which I'll draw at the start of next week's episode. Now, I don't know what the prize will be yet, but it's probably going to be a sleeve, provided the sleeve code works. I have to make sure it's valid. If not, it'll still be something pretty decent. So again, that'll be if you vote in the YouTube comments for the deck you would like me to talk about. Alright, so again, back to the Moonshine. Everybody likes some Moonshine? No, not really, but not myself. So, other questions. Let's have a quick look here before we get into it. Looks like we're good. Alright, so the key to this deck is the Azure Fate Sorceress right here. She is a 4-cost single Sapphire Threshold, but her power comes from her double sockets, a socketable major and a socketable minor, and then the ability to give whatever you've socketed into her to other troops that are 4-cost or higher. This is key. Now, another key factor through her, which most people really don't do, or don't really, what's the word here, respect enough. They don't respect it enough, is that when you put card draw in her, you're not only giving more value to some of the cards you're running in standard Wintermoon, but you're putting your opponent in a position that you can force them to do certain things, and they're not gonna like it. So I'll get more into that in a second. But so we've got Spell Shield and Card Draw. Now they're both double threshold, but luckily we're running 10 Sapphire here, 8 Wild, but we got the Chlorophyll to make sure we get that Spell Shield on and potentially get her out on turn 3, which is very good in lots of matchups. So one simple synergy with her is, you say you'll put her down on turn 3 or even turn 4. If your opponent is running a slow type of deck, which the meta is more focused to at the moment, if they are, well then you're going to get more value out of your Time Ripples. This Time Ripple is a card that, when normally if you're just using it to bounce something, you're delaying to try and get more shards down to then get to your win conditions. That's okay, but your opponent's not going to care too much. They're like, oh, I'm not under any pressure. There's nothing to worry about really. I'll just replay this next turn and there's my threat back again. But when you've got an Azure Fate Sorceress down with card draw, they cannot remove it unless they're running Heat Waves or Extinction basically. So they just either have to, all right, I'm going to put out a blocker and I'm going to stop that hitting in because I don't want you getting a card advantage. Or if they've already got a troop, and this is where some other synergy comes in, which I'll get to in a second. But yeah, so the Time Ripple basically allows you to play out your Azure Fate. Your opponent then plays a troop that they want to block with, because most decks are not going to have access to Heat Wave and Extinction, which will deal with her. You get to then ripple their troop and get that card, so you get to get that card advantage. So you're getting a lot more value out of Ripple, which is otherwise not, it's a very situational card, but we're forcing the advantage there by having those together. So a nice synergy there. So Time Ripple again. So you're putting a target card into your controller's hand, and it gets cost +1, which is also very nice. So that's a key part to the deck there. Now the other synergy I was about to mention is if your opponent, say your opponent's on the play, and let's say you're up against Mono Blood. There was actually 2 matches I was against Mono Blood on Saturday in the 5 Shards Weekly, and did very nicely against both. Ended up losing to the second one. But I'd say watch the games there if you want to see how silly they went, how it ended. I'll leave that as a surprise for you. But let's say you're against Mono Blood. They're on the play. Maybe they do a turn 2 Inquisition. You lose something. Maybe you lose a counter magic or a ripple or whatever. So then they play out their Vampire Princess, let's say, on the next turn. Then you've got now maybe let's say you don't have many actions in hand. You don't mind taking the hit, and you know how important it is to get the Azure Fate Sorceress down. Well, then you can play her out, and then you've put your opponent in a position, because you've got Spell Shield, they're going to attack in. Now this is a situation that actually happened in one of my games, is I put her down, my opponent swings in with the Vampire Princess, and it reveals a Crocosaur. And here's that other synergy I was talking about. Your opponent then has to say to themselves, oh, well damn, I can't put another threat down now, I've just swung in, and now I can't block this. If I put another troop down, well then Crocosaur is just going to eat them. Provided you've got the resources, which I did in this game. So my opponent was in this now awkward position of, okay, the options are Extinction, and just kill the Princess and the Azure Fate, which obviously I'd be fine with. That's a 2-for-1, that's beautiful. Their other option is to put another troop down and just let them get eaten, which they cannot stop, because not only will the Crocosaur have Spell Shield, but they're going to be probably tapped out anyway. So there's, you're basically forcing them to now say, like, well, what do I do? So in this situation, my opponent just did nothing. Just passed the turn, I swing in, get my free card, say thank you very much, and then actually drew another Azure Fate. I then play the Azure Fate, and now I've got 2 of them, and now they're in an even worse position, because again, they know about the Crocosaur, but what can they do about it? They either play out another troop to get blockers down, or, obviously my opponent didn't have Extinction, or they probably would have seen it there at that point, but, yeah, it puts them in an awkward position. You're going to draw cards. It's like, if you want to attack me, well, I'm drawing cards. If you want to do nothing, well, then that's fine. I'm Wintermoon. The longer this game goes, the better off it is for me. So, again, that's a synergy there, and that's why we've got 4 main deck Crocosaurs. So, again, puts your opponents in very awkward positions just by having her down. And if they don't know about it, even better. So that's a nice synergy there. So I actually did force my opponent to not play another troop that game. But I won't spoil it. That game was, let's just say, quite trolly. So I would recommend watching that. It is on my YouTube channel. I did highlight the 4 rounds from the Saturday. So you can check that out to find out how that unfolded. Okay, so let's talk about some other synergies here. Alright, so obviously in any Wintermoon deck, counters are very important. You've got your standard counter magic here. Very important, you know, you just can't not have these in your deck. Pretty self-explanatory. We got the Verdict here, which is just a 2-cost interrupt target non-troop card. You generally want to have at least one of those. I'll get to the sideboard stuff in a minute, or later. So yeah, so the other early threat here we have is Side of the Sun. So the good thing about Side of the Sun is, I mean, the earliest you're putting it down is turn 3. Unless you're wanting to do some sort of Howling Brave stuff, it's going down turn 3 at the earliest. Which generally is fine, especially if you're on the play. Now, the way in which this card can work very nicely in this deck is that you can put it down, your opponent then, it's sort of like a Periwinkle. Now, for those of you not familiar with Periwinkle, let me quickly bring that up just to show you. And I'll explain why it's sort of like that. Now, here's Periwinkle. It's a very threatening creature, like not itself, not in what it does in terms of damage, in its ability here, which is when you play a card with cost 5 or greater, you copy it. Now that's an insane ability, and everyone's probably played against or seen Cressida and the power that Periwinkle provides, so no one ever wants to leave a Periwinkle alive. So, I mean, I would love to know the data on how many Periwinkles have died, because, yeah, it would be quite a lot. But, yeah, so Periwinkle is one of those threats that you don't want to let your opponent, there's the AA, the one there, you don't want to let your opponent keep that alive, because then they could just do some crazy stuff that you're not going to like, especially like double Root Fathers, but that's another episode. So the Side of the Sun is similar in the fact that if it stays alive, especially with the way my curve is set up, I very likely can put a threat down, even if it's just Azure Fate Sorceress. Now we have to remember, she is a threat now in this deck, because she will gain me card advantage. They can't just ignore it. I've actually had people, while I was playing Gauntlet, copy my deck list, but do Quick and Spell Shield, which is okay, and probably nice in the mirror match, even though I still beat them most of the time. But, you know, she's not a threat herself. So it actually, like, you know, you don't get that Time Ripple stuff. It's just, it's not as good. But, so her as a threat by herself means that if this stays alive, let's say, for example, my opponent was to play out, let's just say let's say they're playing out, like, I was on the play, they maybe just do an Inquisition, they take a card. Let's say they take a card, and then let's say my next turn I get to play my Azure Fate, which would be the ideal curve. That would be the best play I get, is Side of the Sun into Azure Fate. Now, this is where you can actually put your opponent in a very, very tough position. If I have that also with a counter magic or a Verdict, I then get to basically get a guaranteed card. And then from there, you know, maybe we get more counters or we have a Ripple. So what will happen is I Side of the Sun, which I should probably mention what it does. You get to exhaust it to replenish your resource points. You also get some nice heals. So you get to, on the next turn, play out the 4-drop, which is the Azure Fate here. Exhaust the Side of the Sun. You'll get back your 4 resources. And then you can then, for example, leave up Counter Magic, leave up Peak, leave up Time Ripple, leave up all these quick actions, you know, provided you've got something in hand, which is very nice. Now, the other alternative is to just do an Archmage Renlock if you've got him, like say you don't have the Azure Fate. Putting a Renlock down with counter is also a perfectly fine combination, as you will be able to protect him and draw cards while doing so, thanks to Renlock's ability to draw you a card when you play an action. So, you know, you've got that nice synergy with Side of the Sun, and of course the healing is not insignificant at all, especially against certain deck types. If it sticks around, you're going to be very happy. And you could even just Epiphany, maybe then get a counter, and then you just can control your opponent a bit that way, while doing a lot more than your opponent can. So Side of the Sun, very nice. Not essential to the deck, I will say. You know, I win most games without seeing them, but it's never a bad thing to have a curve where you're just like, oh, I've got turn 3 Sight into Azure Fate and counters. This is beautiful. Normally, if that doesn't get interrupted, like the Sight stays alive, your opponent doesn't do much or whatever, maybe they're a slow deck as well, generally that will get me the win. Anyway, that's enough about Side of the Sun. So I've talked about Crocosaur and the synergy there. We've got some Epiphany. Epiphany is just a good card. Another quick action you can leave open, get you some cards. You know, quick actions are very important, and that's because of this guy here, the big guy, the Wind Singer, or the Win Singer. He does win games quite a lot. He is the staple of any Wintermoon deck. So he is the 6-cost double wild, double sapphire. He's a Coyote Ranger, unique, which is important, but not that important. Because honestly, I feel like a lot of decks can get away with running 3 of him, as he is just that good. And I don't think you're ever really sad if you get multiple, because then you can just be like, alright, I'll just play one out. Now, unless of course you're playing against counters, multiples are a little bit worse. But if you're just against removal decks, you're not going to be too sad having multiple of these, because then you might just feel, alright, you know what, I'll just throw this out on 6. If it dies, I've got another one, I can do it again. See if you've got another removal, or maybe you just wait a little bit longer there for a maybe Verdict open, or maybe wait for your opponent to tap out, for example. So it is a very good card. Sorry, let me maximize that again there. So what he does is he replenishes your resources at the start of each opposing champion's turn. So that means if your opponent taps out, now this is the key thing that I see a lot of Wintermoon players make a mistake for, is that if it's like Wintermoon versus Wintermoon, he's a key card to the deck, right? He's very key. Now, generally, the first player to get that down and keep him on the board is going to be probably the one who wins, or it gets so far ahead that, you know, it can obviously still go either way, but the first one to get this down generally will be the one who wins. Keep it down, that is. So, a lot of mistakes I see people make is that they will tap out, basically. You know, maybe they'll get greedy with Oracle songs or something, and just not respecting the Wind Singer, basically. And yeah, you get to put that down. Now, this is where I get into another synergy with the deck here, is that I'm running Root Fathers, but the standard has been to do Spell Shield in flight. That's not what I want. I want quick. Because we're replenishing our resources if we've got him down, we can, you know, very likely play him on your opponent's turn as quick action. We'll get the Spell Shield and card draw from an Azure Fate, most likely. So now, why that's important, though, is if you do get in a position, like say for example I'm against a Wintermoon player, and I don't see my Azure Fates, my early pressure, because normally when I do see an Azure Fate early, it makes my opponent play differently as well. It's one thing this makes your opponent do, especially in a Wintermoon matchup, because most Wintermoon decks do not have an answer for early, you know, pressure like this. You know, it's Spell Shield, so they can't use their ripples, stuff like, and they don't really run many early troops. And even if they were to play a Crocosaur down just to get a blocker, and that's the thing here I'm getting to, is if they do, like, they're like, oh, I'm sick of all this card draw you're getting, they might just put a Crocosaur down. Yeah, Quick and Flight. They might just put a Crocosaur down, and that's the mistakes they make. They play differently because they're like, oh, I'm sick of all this card draw you're getting. They might then get greedy with Oracle songs or stuff like that, and tap out when they normally wouldn't. Because most Wintermoon matchups, you'll have players just staring at each other for several turns until one of them gets something to really make sure they can, you know, do something and maybe protect it, or wait for one player to stuff up, basically, is generally the way it goes. And this is where, you know, if I don't have that and I do get into that stirring match, which does happen, this is where the quick Root Father comes in handy. If both players, like, let's say both players at 7 resources, they pass the turn, I pass the turn, goes back to them, they still doing nothing. Say for example, they Oracle Song, or they just leave up 1 counter magic. They might be like, you know what, I'll just draw some more cards, which is generally what they do, and they'll leave up a counter. What I then get to do, like maybe they leave up counter Verdict. I've had some players do that, and that's where I can, you know, because we're both wanting to get Windsingers down very likely, and that's where this guy with the quick can actually punish them. Because let's say I do have an Azure Fate on the board, that maybe I just got it out, or it didn't do too much, or whatever, but let's say I do, then I can play this out the end of their turn, and they have to counter this. Otherwise, they've got no way to stop it besides Mass Polymorph Dingler, or getting their own Flying Root Father. So if they don't counter it, well, that's obviously very bad, because I'll just then keep protecting, as we've been doing. You know, we've just been staring at each other, potentially both of us sitting on many counters. So I'll force out the counter magic, and then, and they always do it. I always make them do it. They pretty much have to. Now, obviously, if they're smart, they've left up enough resources to do another. But they don't always do that. They might just have a verdict, or say they've got 2 open. Well, then I get to guarantee put a Windsinger down if she's on the board, because then Time Ripple's not an answer. So the Windsinger gets down, and as I said before, from there you're pretty much going to be the one who wins, the one who gets this down first, especially with Spell Shield. Then their only answer again is the Mass Polymorph, which is the one of. So we'll talk about this one here. So it's the finisher, basically. So yeah, it's an 8 cost, very, very expensive, but you reliably can get to those resources, and it'll just reveal your opponent's hand, and then revert and transform each troop on the board and in hand to Dinglers, which are these guys here. Very hideous, of course, but basically makes them, they're done at that point in most cases. Now the other beauty here, something, what was I actually going to mention here? Something to do with Azure Fate again. What was it? I've lost track. But yeah, so I'll just quickly talk about some of the other cards here. Obviously, we got the Arcane Focus, pretty much the best 1-drop in the game, at least in Sapphire anyway. It's a basic action that you get to look at the top 2 cards of your deck, put one of them into your hand, and then put the remaining cards. A great card to use the charge power on. Same with the Peak here. Peak, obviously, the later the game goes, the better it gets. The more Sapphires you've played, the more cards you're going to be able to look at with this, as you're looking at cards from the top of your deck equal to the thresholds you have for Sapphire. And so you just get to grab whatever you need, be it a counter magic, be it a Crocosaur if you're needing to eat some troops for Croco mealtime, or maybe you just want to grab your Windsinger or Rootfather, your finishers. Better than Ancestors Chosen? I mean, Ancestors Chosen is good, but probably, it probably is, honestly. It is that good of a 1-drop. It's like, find me a Sapphire deck that doesn't want to run this. So, and the 3 peak. So we got a point here is only 3 peak is surprising. The reason being is I am actually running, which I don't know if you noticed, I am running 3 of the Rootfathers here, which most people are only doing 2. I decided to go with 3 here because he is just that good, especially with the Quick and Flight, since we can give the Spell Shield from the Azure Fate. But and he can cycle and get me to stuff anyway. And a peak early game, maybe you're only doing it for 1 or whatever, but I've got a lot of cards that I want to fit in, so that was a card I was happy to cut 1 of there. So yeah, then we got the Time Ripples that we've mentioned. Now Chlorophilia, obviously a very nice card, also nice to use the Wintermoon charge power on, which actually, for those of you who don't know what Wintermoon does, it's a basic 2 cost, 2 charges. You need Sapphire and Wild Threshold, and you get to put 2 cards from your crypt into your deck, and then those cards get, when you play this, draw a card. Now the key thing here is it says when you play this. So even if the card gets countered, verdicted, stopped, you're still going to get a card back. So very, very nice charge power. Very, very nice. And that's, I've been a huge fan of this champion since we got it, basically. And yeah, just very, very nice. Probably one of the best champions, really. If games go too long, you're... Excuse me. Let me just have a drink real quick. If games go too long, that charge power is how you're going to win. Like, you just have all the counters, all the draw. It's pretty damn amazing. Why do you have 62 cards? Well, first you should have 22 shards, 10, 8, and then 4. You should have 3 Rootfathers, but yeah, so just, if you're wanting to build the deck at the moment, just, you've probably seen the top stuff there, so I'll leave that down here real quick. I'm going to quickly put my cooling up. It is getting very hot in here. Hi-yi-yi. I think it must be about 30 degrees, if not more, outside. Let's put that up. Pretty warm, isn't it, Bella? Holy moly, but yes, no Oracle songs. Basically, Azure Fate will do that job and do it a lot better. Because she's a threat herself. I did have another point about her that I was going to make, and I forgot what it was. It'll hopefully come back to me. Just going to look at these for a second and try and think what it was. There was a good point. I guess one of the things, like I was saying, by just having the card draw and the spell sheet in the Azure Fate, you do make your opponents play differently, especially in the Wintermoon matchups. They'll feel pressured, so they can't just sit there and keep drawing. They can keep Oracle Songing and all that sort of stuff. but like they're gonna be like normally, as I was saying before, you'll just keep staring at each other for a while. But with her on the board, they're like they're really upset that you're drawing cards. So then a lot of players will play differently and make a mistake, especially when you get in that position where you can do the quick Root Father, force out a counter, get your Windsinger down, and basically GG your opponent. So that wasn't the point I was going to make, but that's the point there. So you're at 59 now. You got Epiphany there, one Epiphany. So I think if there's any questions about any of the cards here, I think we've covered pretty much all the key stuff there. So again, you've got your key counter magics, which are, when it comes to a Wintermoon versus Wintermoon matchup, your most important cards are counter magic. In my case, Azure Fate, but that's for me. If I get that down, well then it's very good for me. But your most important cards are counter magic and Windsinger. In most cases, it's all about those basically. 3 peaks, man, 3 peaks. Is Epiphany better than a 4th peak? Yes, it is. In my opinion, it's got plenty of things to do on 2 or 4 too. Cycling a Root Father even. So yeah, let's get into the sideboard now. This is the reserves, I should say. This is something that I've iterated on a lot. Now, one thing I will do real quick here is actually bring up Hex Meta. So let's get that. There we go. So here's Hex Meta. As you can see, I played a lot of Gauntlet. Now, as I said earlier at the start of the show, it's the most testing I've ever done when it comes to constructed. Normally I'll just build decks and theory craft it in my head, or do a couple games here and there. But most of it's just in my head, like this, this can do this, and if they do that, I'll do this. And why is that captured wrong again? Let me try to fix that. Must be this one. Yep, it's that one. So, as I said, most testing I've ever done, and one thing I can tell you for sure is that it pays off. It pays off quite a lot, and you get to know your deck in and out. And the sideboarding, as I said, I iterated a lot on my reserves, a lot. And I've pretty much got the deck to a point where I now feel it's almost perfect. And so I've got it to that point. So I'll show you where I started at. So let's go to Hex Meta here. So the beauty about Hex Meta here is you can put a player name in and search what they've done. You can see here and all the different stuff I've played in and all the different decks I've ran. So you can see that I started. Now this here is not. This is a Gambit deck, actually. I ran in a 5 Shards Weekly a while back just for a bit of fun. It actually did better than I expected it to do, the Gambit deck here, this one, because I almost got into the top 8. I end up losing to time. So here's where it started. Let's go to the deck list here. So you can have a look at, so you can see I went 5-1 in the first thing. Now the first difference you'll see is I'm 2 Root Fathers, so I started with 2. I also have Eldritch Dreamers in there. That actually wasn't the first thing I tried. That was actually, I guess, yeah, I mean, it's the first one showing up, but yeah. Dreamer was something that came not straight away, but it's another synergy with Azure Fate, and you run quick with him. So that is an option there, Eldritch Dreamer there. So if you put quick in Eldritch Dreamer and you get an Azure Fate with Spell Shield down, you're then able to, similar to how the Root Father with the quick and flight, you got this 4-drop that you could then potentially play at the end of your opponent's turn, put Spell Shield and card draw on it from the Azure Fate, and then, just leave up your counters again and win that way, basically. And it did work well. Now, the problems with it, though, is if you don't get the Azure Fate, all you've got is a 4-drop that is unblockable, and that's it. Quick unblockable 3/3, basically. Pretty lackluster. And that's why it ended up getting cut, because, I went down to 1, and that was okay, and I actually won games because of it, against things like Crusader and stuff, where we both had good board states. Like, I had Windsinger down, they've got, like, some big dudes, and then my Dreamer came along just to punch through, because he couldn't be blocked. But yeah, it, at the end of the day, wasn't better than just having another Root Father, I found. So, sorry, let me catch up on the chat here. Tells you yeah. So not sure what you guys are doing, but yeah. So that was something that I tried, and I liked it, but at the end of the day, if you get it without the Azure Fate, you're not actually happy. You're like, oh, I need to wait to get Azure Fate for the most part. So he got cut. He was tested. It was decent, but he got cut. For the most part, everything else there is the same, as you can see. We've got pretty much everything the same there. So yeah, 1 extra Root Father went in. What was the other one change? Let's see if we can find it there. Who's going to find it first? It's probably Epiphany. Yeah, it's Epiphany. So I thought, you know what, I'll just do another... Like, I want something quick. Quick is very important in the deck because of, you know, Windsinger giving you back your resources, even Side of the Sun, you know, and you're wanting to leave up counters. So having quick things is always nice, and that's why I tried the Dreamers out, because we could give him quick, and it combos very nicely with the Azure Fate. But I decided to go for a one-of Epiphany main deck, just so I could keep up with the card draw in mirror matches, where, you know, say I don't get my Azure Fate down, well, I'm going to need to keep up somehow, so having just one of those is decent. So I went 5-1 in that one. Let's go back here and have a look at... Oh, sorry. I should have showed you the reserve there. Give me a second. So we'll have a look at the starting reserves. So we've got a Chaos Key, we've got 2 Cripples. I guess this is actually not a good example, because it actually is pretty much what I'm running. Let me go back here. Maybe I'm clicking the wrong thing. Or maybe I changed it sooner than I thought. So we'll try this one and see if it's the same thing, because maybe it's not... Yeah, here we go. Here's a good... There we go. I don't know why that's ordered wrong, basically. But you can see I started with the standard, which is where most players will run Turbulence in their sideboard, of course, for vampires and angels and all that, the stuff like that. And so I, I have 2 Turbulence there. I have like a 1 Cluckadon. You know, we got some stuff here. The 1 Cripple, 2 Chaos Key actually here. So what did I go in this one? Let's have a look. That was a 5-0. Again, that was with Dreamers still. So, you know, a lot of iterating. And then the latest one that I won with yesterday is pretty much what we're looking at. So let's go back to the client here, and we'll just look, and I'll tell you guys why I made some changes here and some more synergies. So let me get rid of that. So are we in the reserve? Yes, we are. Excuse me while I take a drink. Alright. So you'll notice that the 2 Turbulences are just gone. And you're like, Havoc, what are you going to do with the Flyers, man? Well, here's where some really nice synergy comes in. And it's also just so beautiful that, yeah, it's just delicious. So you can notice that I've now got the 2 Cripples, no Turbulence, and that's where we've got the replacement there. It's like, you know what? Cripple, you know, people, you know, are like, Cripple's okay, but they're still got a blocker, and But this is where we get the synergy. If we've got Azure Fate down, we've got the card draw, they've got a troop out. If they put a second one, they get eaten by a Croco. But that's also another thing as well. Is if I don't even have anything down, they play out a Vampire or whatever it is that I'm crippling. It also works very nicely with Killipede, of course, so you've got that flexibility. But if they're... But yeah, if your opponent's got a troop down, Cripple is actually the best card, because we're running 4 Crocosaur. So what does it do? It means that if they want to actually start killing me again, they need to commit another troop to the board while having one on the board. So what does that mean? Croco mealtime is pretty much guaranteed. Especially if we've got an Azure Fate Sorceress on the board, because they're not going to be able to just like play a 3-drop and have 3 open or something for a kill in response. So, you know, guaranteed Croco mealtime is good, because otherwise the Croco gets very angry with me. So we like to feed him at least once a day, ideally more. So leaves the body behind, as Shosny says there. Yes, it does. So leaves it behind for him to eat, and that's beautiful. So we get some more synergy there. And again, it also makes your opponent play differently. They're like, oh. A lot of players will make the mistake and think I'm not running many Crocos, so maybe they'll commit another troop to the board, and then I'm happy. I'm super happy, especially if I've got the Croco. And again, that's why we're running 4 Croco, because we've got lots of synergy there that I've mentioned. Do you keep the Crocs in versus Wintermoon? Good question. The easiest answer is hell no. They are the 4 things that I cut immediately. So I'll quickly show you what I would cut against Wintermoon, since you've pressed the question. So against Wintermoon, this is basically... I mean, I shouldn't be revealing you all my secrets here, but so be it. This is what the show's about. The 4 Crocos are the things that come out there, and then I bring in 1 extra Verdict, because again, that matchup is all about the counters, so having an extra Verdict is nice. We bring in a Suffocate as well, again, another counter. So we get those 2. We get a... I guess you're going to know about this one too. The Subterranean Spy is also extremely valuable in the mirror match. And that's mainly what he's there for. So what does he provide, you wonder? Well, he's not only something that can get inspired by the Azure Fate, but he gives you extremely valuable information. So you tunnel this guy, maybe you're doing it on turn 3. So you want him to get inspired. So if you've got the Azure Fate, you'll tunnel him on, the turn before you're doing the Azure Fate, basically. So then you get to see the information. And then it's like, alright, all you've got is card draw and all that sort of stuff. They then tap out, or maybe, as I've had players do to me, they bluff. They're like, oh, that's a Reese. I'm now going to just bluff my counter because I don't want you playing your Azure Fate that you killed me with last turn. Little do they know, I'm already knowing that I can safely play my Azure Fate because you're bluffing. So I then play my Azure Fate down. They're like drats. They didn't, maybe they do a peek at the end of the turn or something like that. So it's very valuable having the information because you get to plan everything you need to do. Like, just having the information means, alright, I can play Windsinger, you got nothing. Or I can play the Azure Fate because, you can't stop it. Or I can plan maybe 3 or 4 turns ahead based on what they've got. So very, very key card in the matchup. Very nice to have. So that's why he's there. So basically, those are the 3 cards that come in there. And also, there's one more. Which one is it? I guess I actually took it out. I did have Epiphany in my sideboard at one point. So it's those 3. And then really the last card is all just how I'm feeling at the time, because they're the main 3 there. The other stuff are potentially not useful in the matchup, depending on what they're running. So that's where it's just going to be dependent on their specific Wintermoon list. So, but those 3 definitely come in. Maybe you leave a Croco just for a threat, right? So that's for a Wintermoon. So let's explain the rest of the sideboard here. So we've got Sapper's Charge. Good against, any aggro deck. It's just another thing you can bring in. Good against the Phoenix type deck. You can just have it on the board ready to kill. Good against, Side of the Sun, for example. Good against Azure Fate in the Tetsov deck. Just as a one-off, it's okay. And if you're up against something where this is okay to bring in, you're not going to be too sad there. So just as a one-off in the side there. So obviously our anti-aggro, which actually paid off for me quite a lot yesterday, as I went against 3 aggro decks in the Sunday tournament that I won. Technically I split in the finals, but we'll say I won. So there's 4 Carnosaur here, which I was doing 3 at one point. Decided to go back to 4 because I felt like I had 2 Moss at one point, which worked really nice against Blood, for the fact that he just doesn't die. But I actually felt 1 was enough because I have so many things I want to bring in against Blood. I'll get to that in a minute. But so yeah, 4 Carnosaur and the 2 Cluckadon here, as well as the Sapper's Charge. They're immediate cards that go in against aggro, along with the Cripples, of course. These obviously work very nice against the Phoenix type of aggro deck, and because then you can cripple it, and then even if it goes to the grave at some point, the ability of the Phoenix to come back from the grave does not matter when it's crippled. So very nice. Again, the cripples paying off, better than follow there, Mr. All-Star 23. Thank you very much for the follow there. So wow, this show is going a lot longer than I thought. I was actually wondering, can I talk long enough about this deck? I guess I did start the stream earlier, but still, that's good maybe, or bad, I don't know. But again, feel free to ask questions. So what do you cut against aggro? Well, okay, that's a good question. I'll finish saying what I was saying here. So those are what I bring in against aggro, as well as the Spy. He's decent as well, just as something that can pop up early and block potentially. Moss comes in as well. Pretty much, yeah. It's maybe even a Verdict, but I'll show you what I cut. So what do I cut against, or what did I cut against aggro? Let's show you. Basically all these. The double sight, Renlock, the 4 Azures, the Epiphany, a Root Father potentially, a counter, maybe you do a Verdict to have a lower, especially if they're on the play and they've got things like Mind Pyres and all that, it depends on the aggro type of deck. Maybe you'll take out a counter for a Verdict instead. But these are the key ones to cut, so that's a lot of cards you get to cut right there. But yeah. And so for example, I did actually run into King Gabriel's deck yesterday, which I believe Game 1 was actually rather close. They got the play, I believe, so it ended up being a bit too much. And I can't remember exactly. I can't remember. There was a lot of games yesterday, obviously. But I did go against that deck, with the Baby Yetis and that. Which honestly, I don't like the deck. If you're prepared for it, I did actually crush it games 2 and 3 pretty much, thanks to, we've still got all the Crocos, we've got Karmas, we've got Cluckers, we've got Cripples. Pretty much, they may have been closer than I'm making it out, but pretty much. Game 1 is always tough though. Game 1 against any aggro deck is tough, because you don't want to obviously have a lot of main deck stuff that is just all about aggro and then never versed aggro and then you've got all these dead cards. Always better to have that sort of stuff in reserves, while still keeping your main deck with the ability to potentially do it. Like, I almost got there, I almost stabilized, I believe, in Game 1 from memory. Like, Crocos obviously is still great, and we got 4 of those. But yeah, I did go against the Baby Yeti King Gabriel deck, version of that deck. I went against 2 Phoenixes in rounds 6 and 7. The 2 Phoenix decks with Mind Pyres and all that, and Psychotic Anarchist, which were intense. They were intense. I was on the edge of my seat. My balls had gone up inside me. they had receded. They were like having none of this. It was too scary. It was like I got to like 3 health and so many things to think about basically. But yeah, did get there. It was intense though, very intense. Very good games though. Sadly, I wasn't recording yesterday, so I can't upload those ones. But so that's for aggro. Again, feel free to ask more questions. So let's see, what haven't we looked at here? So against Blood, obviously we bring in Incubation Webs. This is obviously good against pretty much any of their troops. But its main reason is because it's a good answer for Fentio. That's there we go. I just remembered the synergy that I was the other point I was gonna make is that even without Incubation Webs, this deck doesn't care about Fentio too much. I've won many games when versing, like, maybe they do a turn 3 Fentio, so then I get my Azure Fate down, and then I actually don't care in a lot of cases that they're getting Tarantulas in my deck, because all of my things will have Spell Shield now. And that is hugely important when you've got stuff that is bigger than Tarantulas, you've got Crocos that can eat them, and you've got... I won a game where my opponent eventually got a Soul Marble online, had 7/7 Tarantulas, got a bunch of them. Obviously they're not killing things. Again, that's where the important thing is. The Spell Shield protecting all my troops is very key against Fentio. Like, I dealt with all the other threats, and eventually got rid of Fentio as well. Crocosaur eating stuff, having his meals. But the key factor was the Tarantulas even coming down later didn't actually matter, because even though they were 7/7s, I was able to like flash out a Root Father, eat one, maybe I take a bit of damage. I was probably healing with Side of the Sun as well for a bit in that game, so I was at a good amount of health. I could take a decent chunk of damage. But that's another good thing about the Azure Fate there, is that you don't actually, it's not the end of the world if you're getting Tarantulas in your deck, which normally in a normal Wintermoon deck, where if they get that out and you've got Windsinger just sitting there, you're going to be pretty damn sad because you're going to lose him. There's nothing you can do about it. Pretty much, you're guaranteed to lose your Windsinger. So that is key, and then you can just win in the air with the Root Father. But that is another. So that was actually what I was going to mention earlier. So yeah, you bring in the Incubation Webs there. Morinton probably said that completely wrong, but so you bring in the double cripple, the Incubation Webs. Depending on, like, say you're against Blood Diamond, you probably bring this in expecting Cerebral Dominations and other stuff like that, and Soul Marble, which I was against on Saturday? No, yesterday, I guess. I can't actually remember, but yeah, so that's an option, depending on what you're against, or if you're expecting something that it's going to be a good target. Even if you don't know they've got it, you just have to, what can I expect out of the meta? What is this deck known to do? So you could even go look it up on Hex Meta. If you think you know what they're running, or you just want to look up the player, for example, you can be like, is he running something in the side I want this for? You could do that. I'm too lazy for that sort of stuff. I just go by what I know. So that's an option. Against Mono Blood, though, not really needed. And honestly, against Soul Marble, I don't normally care about Soul Marble because of the pressure I can actually put on early game with the Azure Fates. So they can't just sit there and just keep, ticking it up. And I can always time ripple, but that's kind of one of those things where sorry, well, this should be renamed to How to Play Like Havoc. Yeah, I guess I'm giving all you my secrets here, or how I do everything. But yeah, so you got the moss you bring in against Blood, and so yeah, the sideboard is in the reserves here in a spot where I feel it has pretty much the answers for everything currently going around in the meta. The matchups that are still iffy, you know, aggro decks are still, you know, iffy. I've been saying this for a while, but Cressida is still strong, even though it got nerfed in health. You know, pucks and parries, you don't want to leave them on the board, so I have won against them. I've probably lost against them as well. You know, bringing in the Carnosaurs to make sure they're not getting those parries is fairly crucial. Then it's just a matter of getting a good board state down and getting to that Mass Sting to finish them off, and then they're done at that point once you get that off. But yeah, re-emergence of Heatwave, I mean, it's definitely possible. It is a good card. So that is the list there again. That's the reserve. So questions. Also, I guess we can talk about what we could potentially do to make it better, even, or whatnot. Which honestly, it's perfect. So, but let me have a look at what you guys are typing in the chat here. Do you ever change the gems? Ah, good question. There you go. Thank you. So, in certain matchups, like there is actually, like there was another, like for example, when I had the Dreamers in, I had the option of doing Quick and the Empowerment, the +8/+8 to a target troop, which, you know, onto a Dreamer as quick action is pretty damn nice. So that was an option. Also got the ability to do Bury in Quick, if I like. So in certain matchups, maybe you're wanting to Bury. Maybe in certain matchups, you don't need the card draw. Maybe you just want the Spell Shield and Bury in the Azure Fate, and then have all your troops Bury. So you've definitely, like, I don't do it much, because I normally find that this being a threat in terms of the card advantage is what I need for the matchup. But yeah, so I don't actually think I've done it much where I've done like Bury, like maybe one or two here and there. But yeah, you've got the option of doing Bury. I don't think I would consider much else over of the mill gem there, which is what's that called again? Let's have a quick look. Holy moly, it's hot in my room right now. That's the one there. So whoops, I don't actually want to change that. But yeah, when this enters play, each opposing champion buries cards from the top of the deck equal to this troop's combined attack and defense. So let's put that back. But so yeah, it's, you know, she'll bury, if you were to put it on Azure Fate, she'll bury 4, and then all your other guys will bury a lot, like 11 here, 10 there, 16 there. So you can try and win that way if you like. I haven't really found the need to do that though. So yeah, any other questions here? Let's have a look. What do you cut against blood and mono blood? Wait, that's the same thing. It's the same thing, Roy. Diamond blood. Okay, you corrected yourself, I see. So I normally cut Redlock because he's not really needed. I even sometimes cut Verdict because I don't want. I mean, it depends if they're running Arachnophobias. Then, like say against mono blood, then I will leave Verdict in. Maybe even bring in another. But if they're not, then I'm normally just happy to have my ripples and the counters to control the early game. Obviously, I'm bringing in the cripples and all the stuff I mentioned earlier. What else do I cut here? Let's have a look. Epiphany is likely as well. Let me just... Yeah. So Epiphany, maybe even a Root Father. It depends on how many things I'm bringing in, which against Blood and Blood Diamond, it's pretty much... like the guaranteed stuff is 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5. You know, like against Blood Diamond, generally you're bringing this in for the Cerebral Domination. So that's likely 5. So then you're just taking out like 1, 2, maybe 3. What else did I say there? 4, and then whatever I'm feeling at the time, basically. So yeah. It's yeah, it changes, but that's that. So what other questions we got here? When would you use Subspy? Kind of covered that, but I'll mention it again. So very, very good in the mirror match, as getting to know what your opponent has in hand is beautiful. Just yeah. So the mirror match basically. I do use it in aggro because you just want to have more earlier things. So having a Tunneler that will pop out on 4 if you're doing it on 2 is fine. Obviously not the greatest, but you know we have it in the sideboard and it's better than some of the other cards we have, so that comes in against aggro. What are the weaknesses of this deck? I'm glad you asked. So the weaknesses, I mean, it's perfect. But, okay, so weaknesses, aggro is still iffy. You know, if they get the play game 1, you're probably still you're gonna have a rough time. Obviously, depending on how good their curve is. Like, if they've got a great curve and they're on the play, you're probably gonna have a tough time. So, sorry, what was the rest of that question? Right, the weaknesses, right. So you're probably have a rough time against that. After sideboarding, though, it becomes a lot easier. As I said, I was able to beat 3 aggressive Ruby decks yesterday, but it was tough, especially against the Phoenix deck. But I have the good sideboard cards that really help, especially Cripple. Obviously, Blood Discard is actually still really annoying. If your opponent's doing like Inquisition into Corpse Flame to Arachnophobia, that sort of stuff is annoying against any deck. Let's be honest here. That stuff is just want to like start punching the wall. You know, it's like I got no cards left. What am I supposed to do? Or especially if you're mulligan, and then that happens to you, it's just the worst feeling. But so that's annoying, but beatable. You know, the discard version. They're not always going to get crazy curves like that I just mentioned. So that's still annoying. What Cressida is still, if you don't have an answer for Periwinkle or a Puck, that can be bad. Now Puck isn't the worst though, because you can still counter his next play, unless of course it's Periwinkle and a 5-drop or something, and then you're like, no. But I still, even main deck wise, I've still beaten Cressida decks thanks to just being able to ripple, buy some time, get some key stuff down, and then like normally what will happen is I'm bouncing things. Especially the ones that use Brave, Howling Brave. I can like bounce, like say they do Brave into Periwinkle, I bounce the Peri, they replay the Peri, maybe I bounce it again or something like that, and then if I've bought enough time, I can then just Croco and have that meal time again, and then that from there it's quite a lot less pressure. Obviously, maybe they do a Root Father next because you've tapped out. If they can, which not always the case because you've ate their rampy dudes. But yeah, it can still be a tough matchup. Cressida is still, like I said before, still very good in the meta. Just the health is still, because Peri and Puck are just insane. It's insane early threats. Okay, what's the good matchups? Wild Diamond. I love going against Wild Diamond. This deck absolutely crushes it. It's actually why I was sad on Saturday when I lost round 5. I lost round 5 after I was in such an amazing position. Like, I was like, again, I'm not going to spoil the game. I implore you to go watch it as it was. It should be pretty entertaining for you. Those games are up on my YouTube. But if the pairings stay the same, which I don't know, but I would have actually been up against 2 Wild Diamond players in rounds 6 and 7, which, as I said, the deck just crushes because they first of all don't run any early removal. Their only early threat is Puck, really, that you can ripple, get your Azure Fate down, and then once you got the Spell Shield done, it's just a very easy matchup I'm happy to go against. Link to YouTube channel? Yeah, okay, I can do that. So I'll link my Twitter here. There's my Twitter. YouTube, and here we go. Give me a second here. So those matches are up there. It was a pain in the butt to actually get those uploaded because I was streaming on the official channel, so I had to highlight them on the channel, and then for some reason Twitch wouldn't let me export them to my YouTube channel. They just kept giving an error, so I had to then download it with a program, the stream, download it, then upload it with my 100 kilobytes connection. It took quite a while, but it was worth it. As I said, they were entertaining matches, so I took the time, as I'm sure you guys will enjoy them. So there's the links there in the chat there. I've now lost my chat. Where's it gone? Does Bella have a Twitter? No, sadly not. She doesn't care for Twitter that much. No. She's on Barker. Yeah. at Barker. Alright, so yeah, any other questions about the deck itself here? Wait, I felt bad the other day because I spent $200 on a Magic deck, but then I won $200 back at the casino, so it's okay. Shafty to dope, always with his gambling. So alright, so ever have mana problems with only 22 lands? Yes, but actually not as much as you might think. because there's many cards to help you. You know, you got the like you got Arcane Focus, which so you can actually keep one resource hands if you've got an Arcane Focus. Still risky, of course. You might not hit the shard, but I've definitely taken the gambles and they've paid off. I've probably also taken the gamble and it hasn't. But yeah, so you can keep risky hands. You've got Peak, you've got Focus, you've got the Root Fathers, you've got Chloro. You know, so let's say you kept a one resource hand and you have Chloro, and all you need to do is draw a Sapphire or the Wild, and you hit it. Well, then you're sweet. You're probably good from there because you've just ramped to 3, and yeah. What's the sideboard for Crusader? I mean, I'm not going to tell you everything, man. But alright, so basically for Crusader, you probably want to bring in some kind so I don't know if I'd do all of them. Cripple's an option. Like, I'll tell you the options basically. Like, I would consider those. Incubation Webs, probably most definitely, because it's, you know, they do obviously run a lot of fatties. But yeah, not a whole lot that needs to change. Mainly just need to stop that the Periwinkle is the main problem. Holy moly, it's warm. It's making me forget what I was going to talk about. So I think I've covered most things. But yeah, feel free to ask more questions here. So let's see. Sappers, I'm not a huge fan of Sappers. Like, Carnosaur will do the job that the Sapper does, right? And I like to heal and potentially get to heal and have a blocker, which is actually very relevant. So I wouldn't bring in the Sapper's Charge for that very reason, because the Carnosaur does it better. You know, if he's eating a Periwinkle or a Howling Brave, he's going to stick around. Whereas a Sapper's Charge, if you're not playing it on turn 1, you're then doing it, you know, say you do it turn 2, you're not going to be able to use it yet. So then you have to do it, you have to waste another turn. So there's a lot of downside to Sapper's Charge, whereas Carnosaur has a lot of upside in terms of I've still got a blocker, I'm healing, and that is very, very relevant in a Crusader matchup because they have the damage Root Fathers. And especially if they're doing damage and speed, because then you get that blocker as well. So yeah, it's very, very valuable. Yes, there is the fact that if you do Carnosaur and you don't have Azure Fate and you want to get more troops down, then their Crockers become active. The upside of that, though, is none of your stuff dies to Croco besides the Carnosaur, and you could even take the Side of the Sun out. I don't know if I would take them out, though, but that is an option. But yeah, that's not often you're going to get in that situation where you do Carner, and then you do Sight or something, and then you get eaten by a Croco. But as you see, nothing pretty much dies to a Crocosaur, as you've got the Crocosaur itself, obviously, doesn't eat other Crocosaurs. We got the Windsinger, he's got the 6 back end, and obviously the Root Father is a giant mofo. So, yep. Oh, holy moly. So, let's again go back and have a look at Hex Meta real quick. Which window capture is that? Not that one, this one. Here we go. Which account did you use this deck on? As you can see here from Hex Meta, I have run it a few times on my replica. But mostly I'm just running it on my main, as you can see there. So winning the 5 shards weekly at the top there on my main. Yeah, I'm mainly playing on my main. So, holy smokes, it's hot. It must be like 40 degrees. So Hex Meta, here we go. So, I think it's all that should be the same. But yeah, so Hex Meta here showing you some more stats there.
You're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz.
Stunt Bum. Alright, thank you for the follow there, Stunt Bum. Nice. I wonder if that is true. Are you really a Stunt Bum? Has your bum been in any movies? Can you list them off? So, yeah, so Hex Meta here, so it shows you, obviously, you've got the more data on here, so you can look, and for some reason, normally shows a little thing. There we go, basic action 9, quick action 12, resources, and then troops 17. How does this, okay, that's a good question too. I did actually verse in Gauntlet, Constructed Gauntlet. Do they have air conditioning? Sure. I've got evaporative cooling. It's not very good. It's all right. It's better than nothing, but it's not very good. So, but yeah, Mono Sapphire I did verse in the Gauntlet from some of these Gauntlet ones. Like I think I versed Value City and some other guys who were doing it. I actually seen some people running my old Mono Sapphire list, like for card for basically maybe 1 or 2 differences. And it is still strong, and actually that was something I was saying to someone just the other week, that with how the meta is shaping, Mono Sapphire is actually still alright, but obviously its huge weakness is still, like, it just would still crumble to aggression, like, just flat out. So unless they're, like, changing the sideboard quite significantly, maybe, like, 4 sappers in the side, stuff like that. But yeah, the Mono Sapphire, like, even that's just my old list, which is, with the Mirror Knights and the Clouds, you got your 4 Reese, your Masteries of Time. Some of them were doing Renlock, which in my opinion is a mistake, because Dreamer is just better. For several reasons I'm not going to get into since we're not talking about Mono Sapphire. But and then Grux, of course, all that sort of stuff. It can be tough, but I think I've beaten it every time I've played it, which has only been like twice, because not many people are trying it. Potentially Value City's been trying it for the Invitational. Who knows? I don't know. He has been playing it a lot, it seems, though. I've seen other people versing him, and he's been playing it again and again. So who knows? So yeah, all the list here is the same as what you're seeing in the client, as I haven't done any changes, and there's not really much I'm feeling I need to change from the list at the moment. But that'll obviously change with the meta. But that's obviously going to change hopefully soon. Hopefully we're getting set for. I'm in the position where I think they're gonna do a lot of stuff at the Invitational, to build up hype for the game. The obviously the Invitational is gonna be awesome. But then maybe, who knows? Maybe they're like, here's spectator mode, and because that obviously would be a good time to reveal it, right? So that's a theory I've got. Maybe they're planning that, and then maybe they have people able to play set for at the event. That would make sense for me. But who knows? There's another thing. So Berkshire mentioning something. Another thing I like about the deck. Let's close Hex Meta again. So if you want to check out the stuff there, on Hex Meta, just hexmeta.com. Thanks to Vitor for making the site. It's awesome. So yeah, let's close that and go to the point there. So Berkshire brought up a point there that I forgot to mention, as it's not something that comes up often. But if you are against a mirror match and they ripple your Side of the Sun, and you've got the Azure Fate down, well, you just say thanks for this spell shit, Side of the Sun, basically, at that point. And then the game is... it's very funny at that point, very funny, because, then you've just, you've just basically ramped, and you're like, thanks, now I've got 2 counters open, or, say you're only at turn 4 and you got 4 resources, and you replay your side, unless they have a counter, of course, and then they kind of have to stop it at that point again. So you're burning more cards from them. So yeah, it is nice, but doesn't happen often. But it does happen. It doesn't happen overnight. I need to put my cooling. I'm putting my cooling on the maximum. This is getting ridiculous. Whew, I had one off the max speed of the fans, but ugh. This deck feels like tier hype. I'm in the opinion. I'm biased, but I do feel it's the strongest deck in the meta at the moment. In terms, I've went against pretty much most of the stuff people are running. Obviously, someone could pull something that is not common and be a surprise factor. I had someone actually challenge me today. He was like, I'm going to teach you the power of true Wintermoon. And he was doing some crazy shenanigans, but it didn't work. But good job for trying. It was interesting mill attempt with some Scissor G's and Cosmic Totem, and yeah. But obviously there's just a lot of good matchups for the deck currently with what most people are running. Good against it's a good matchup against Blood. Still can be tough. I would say it's probably a slight edge to this deck, because I do beat it more often than not, and especially if you go watch those games on my YouTube, you'll see the positions I can put them in. But yeah, Mono Blood is still a good matchup for any deck, really. Same with Crusader. Wild Diamond is an easy matchup, and what else is being run? Blood Diamond is not too hard either. Rutherford Banks versions are not really a worry. Seems like Azure Ken has fallen out of favor lately, which is weird. Okay, so the main reason for that is that the deck does, while it's strong, it has some really big downsides. Is if you don't get your tunnelers, you can't, in the current meta, if you're not tunneling like 2 and 3, or at least 3 and 4, like if you just like get a bad hand, or you don't get any of your tunnelers, the deck, then your opponent's obviously going to be doing. First of all, they're not going to be under pressure because they don't have to worry about a tunneler yet, so they get to build up resources. And in this meta, especially with Wintermoon and stuff, the biggest weakness of that deck is just not having a good enough curve. Because it has no late game. There is no late game whatever to speak of. Because, like, let's say, for example, you get your tunnelers out, like, you get them underground on 3 and 4, and, by then it's maybe too late in the current meta. Like, you need to get it early, because if your opponents say they're playing Wild Diamond even, they're going to have fatties down by the time those tunnelers are coming up. And even against this deck, I've got Spell Shield and everything, so if their tunnelers are too late underground, then they're not going to make it so I can't can't block. They're not going to be able to burn or bolt anything. They can't ripple anything, if I got the aggro fake down. But, the deck, again, it's all about its curve. It needs to have a good curve, because the answers it has in the deck, it's a lot of cheap removal with burns, bolts, the ripples and stuff. So the ripples are still good, obviously, against fatties. But, if you've just got burns and bolts and your opponent's playing like a Sage or something like that, or even an Angel, you're going to have to ripple that. So, it's yeah. Ruby, Diamond, Wild, and Gauntlet. Ruby, Diamond, Wild, Ruby, Diamond, Wild. Right, fair enough. Ruby, Diamond, most stupid history. He wouldn't have versed my deck, but yeah. So I don't know what he's doing, but yeah. So what was I forgot what I was saying now. So yeah, the Tetsot deck, it's very reliant on having a strong curve. Basically, that's all there is to it. It's still a strong deck, still a very nice combo, but you can get hands where you're just too slow to actually getting the and if you don't get any tunnelers, you're pretty much done. Pretty much. Yeah, because the control factor is limited as the longer the game goes, basically. So yeah, if you want to say what his deck is like what's so Ruby, Diamond, Wild. I can probably guess, but I could also look it up on HEX Meta. But anyway, doesn't matter. This show has been going for quite a long time now, but that's fine. So any more questions here? Any more questions? Again, I'm going to be getting you guys to, if you've got more questions, feel free to ask. But just a reminder that if you would like to go into the drawing for a prize, I don't know what the prize is going to be yet. I'm going to probably check to see if my sleeve code that I have is valid. Get that checked. Make sure it's valid before I put it up as a prize. But so most likely will be a sleeve, hopefully. If not, it'll still be something nice. And that'll be if you vote in the YouTube comments when this is on there. All you gotta just tell me is what deck you would like me to pick from either HEX Meta or I have it open, but alright, fine. Let's have a quick look. Play a game live. I was going to do that, but I did actually get the alright, we'll do it. Why not? We'll do it against the AI. Or if someone wants to verse me, we can do that. I'm still happy to take questions. There's probably more I can mention that I forgot to mention. Like, I almost forgot about the Fentio thing how we don't care about Fentio that much in this deck. Normally he's like, oh no, you'd really hate seeing Fentio and leaving him on the board, obviously. But in this deck, I'm not too sad when it happens. As long as I'm, getting ahead in resources and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, I'll play a live game. So if we have someone who would like to verse me, we can do that. Or I can just quickly do it against the AI. But there are those games that are uploaded to YouTube, which I recommend watching, as they are some very good games. Especially with how I lost. Oh, it's so saddening. Alright, so sorry, I missed a follow there. Thank you, whoever that was. So Timbo Man. Alright, Timbo Man. Let's how do I guess just message me. So whoever messages me first, so just Havoc in game. Send me a whisper, and then I'll send the challenge. So the first person to do it will be the one who gets to verse me. Just don't crush me. That'll be embarrassing. Oh, don't do that deck against me. Damn that deck, the Phoenix deck. It's so intense. Because That is a tough matchup. Like I said, aggro is still a tough one, and that one has more game than your standard aggro because of the fact that it's not as straightforward. It's nowhere near as straightforward as just one drop, two drop, and attack. Like that deck is, you know what it's doing, you know what it's gonna do. There's really no surprises really, and obviously you can eat all that stuff and block it. Whereas the Phoenix deck has things like Mind Pyres, which are really annoying if they get several. Okay, so Roy G got in there. Wait, no, we got Parma. I mean, we could do multiple games. We'll see. I don't mind making this a long show. Thankfully, hopefully the Twitch upload to YouTube works on my channel. So I don't mind if the show goes long. Some people may appreciate the extra bit to watch on YouTube. So yeah, Moonshine, let's go. So we'll go against this guy. Maybe we'll go against Roy next. Oh, so that is Timbo Man. I see. I didn't read that. So we'll go against Timbo Man here. We're gonna be against a Phoenix deck. Oh. So we'll see. We'll see how I can do here. So yeah, again, to join the giveaway there, when the video is on YouTube, which I'm going to do after the stream, I'm gonna highlight and then send to YouTube. Hopefully that works, and therefore it will probably be on there within an hour after the stream. And then all you gotta do is just vote in the YouTube comments for the video and just say what deck you would like me to talk about next week on next week's show. So for example, you might be like, I want you to talk about Wild Diamond, which I have actually already improved the deck with some interesting stuff that I'm not going to reveal just yet. But I did actually, I'm still not a fan of it, because even with the improvements, this deck I feel is just better. But I did make some changes to the Wild Diamond deck that Satellution made, and was a pretty nice combo that was pretty sexy. But that's for another episode. If you guys want me to talk about it next week, you go vote for that in the YouTube comments. So again, you go to hexmeta.com, find a deck, or maybe you already know a deck. You can just mention a deck name or a type. I'm going to know what it is most likely, unless you say something like, do a video about the what's a silly card? I don't even know. But like the Cosmic Totem deck. Do that. I'll be like, what? What's this? What's this deck? That's not in the meta. So yeah, ideally you're picking something in the meta, or at least has game in the meta. So obviously the Hex meta is a good place to start, and then just place a vote, and that'll put you in the drawing to win a prize. So he's got some aggression here. That's a bit of floobs, bit of the flibbity floobs there. So Yep. It's annoying having this down because yeah, I'm actually pretty slow here. Sideboard is where this is going to be better, but yeah, it's a tough match. Like I would much prefer. Like I don't even have a time ripple actually, so it's pretty bad. Pretty bad not having a time ripple even. And he's doing a bolt there. Does he have a Scorch to follow? Seems no. So no transform, which is decent. Sadly, I'm not drawing anything great. Oh man, it's so hot. I'm sweating like crazy right now. So I'm basically my best play here is, yes, I could leave up this, but I can't just keep taking all this damage. This is a guaranteed blocker at least. We'll probably see a Crushing Blow though. I don't actually know if they run in Crushing Blow. He's got Scan, so it's very likely. It improves the chances of that being run in there. So at best here I block there. Maybe he plays another Anarchist and I'm just, sad. But if I can get to this, depending on the health total I'm at the time, like I may just be too low, and that is that's a very high possibility. Yeah, yeah. All right, so I'm pretty much losing this game. That's now going to transform. I don't even have a good play next turn. So yeah, I'm going to have to block here. I go to 5. So yeah, well, it's pretty rough. Like if I was hitting 6 now, then I would have probably a chance. But since I'm not at 6 and don't know if I'm even going to make it to 6, it makes it pretty rough. See, the bad thing here is I can't just leave these open, which would be decent. I can't do it because it's when you play an action that this gets buffed. So I'm going to actually just have to say Flibbity Floobs and play this. And I'm very likely dead, but I don't really have a good play here. Like, yeah, I could have potentially left it open. And, very like crazy rummaging. All right, that's bad if he's got a Phoenix and the Phoenix, you know, like potentially he gets to play it regardless. All right, that's fine. I still have to. No, I don't have to block here, but oh, we'd need a miracle. I'm gonna try. I mean, my best bet here is actually to not block. So yeah, I'm going to 1 against a Ruby Burn deck. Yep, we're doing it. I'm actually... no, I'm probably just still dead, but I mean, it's 3 troops on the board, so I need to basically get... Oh, I lost my Windsinger, never mind. I just realized I lost my... Well, that would have worked if I had a Wild Shot. That is sad. That makes me cry. Oh, poor Croco Mealtime is not gonna happen. So that's a shame. Like, so if I had the Windsinger and a Shard, like I didn't actually even get a 6 shot. I just realized. So if I had I was planning to do the Windsinger, I just didn't look at my hand. But like if I got that down and had a Ripple or something, then I could actually live, provided he doesn't draw. You know, because I'd have a counter, Ripple, you know, Verdict, and all that sort of stuff open. But I am dead here. Like, you know, I'll do that, get a card. Actually, does that? Oh, wait a second. Wait a second, folks. We hit a Shard. We're back. We're back, but I'm still at 1 health with 0 counters open. But that, I mean, he just needs. I need him to draw a Shard. So I almost didn't see that. So that was lucky, obviously getting the Shard there. So yeah. I mean, very likely I'm just still dead because I don't have these open. If he hits a Shard here, that's very good. Please Shard. Or a Phoenix would be okay. Of course, it's a 6 damage Rage Fountain. See, I could have potentially been able to turn this around if that wasn't, you know, a kill me spell right there. So there we go. That's the end of game 1. Almost. Half the people in your and just switched to Mono Ruby. Yeah, maybe. But maybe that's what I want them to do. Maybe that's why I'm showing the deck off. I'm like, here's what I'm going to be running. And look, it's weak against Mono Ruby. And then I just run something that actually crushes that deck. Like, I know several decks that crush the Phoenix deck. So, I mean, I could change to that. And I might. Yeah. So anyway, let's do our sideboarding here. Alright, so... Havoc, manipulating meta confirmed. This is Monday Meta Madness. So, I think I've got most of the stuff in that I want in, most of the stuff out that I want out. And now it's just a matter about the last card here. So, yeah, we're going to actually bring in the Swarm as we're expecting a Mindpire. Mindpires are pretty annoying. The one downside, like the thing I don't like about bringing this in is if they never draw those things, I've got this dead card. But hopefully that won't matter. And like I did do the same thing yesterday, and they did play Mindpire, so I was happy because I had it. I was like, yeah, get wrecked. Pew! You know what? Let's do this. There we go. Alright, that'll do. Hopefully, yeah, it can revert Skarn, that is true, but it's, yeah. It's not probably going to be that relevant, but it is something that can be, of course, so it's not too bad. But if that's all it's doing, though, it's, you know, it's sad. Especially if they then played Mindpire the next turn. It's like, oh no. Alright, so we're on the play here. Game 2. And it's keepable. Easily keepable. Sadly, no. I mean, yeah, it's fine. Oh, the mulligans. The mulligans. Alright, so this is obviously very nice, especially if he gets Skarn. If he doesn't get Skarn, it's still nice. 4 heal is very nice. So we get the Wild Shard there, so I can Chlorophilia and Arcane Focus. A very nice interaction there that you can do with, you know, thanks to Chlorophilia giving you the resource. You get to do those in the same turn. So no Scar. That actually reminds me of Arrested Development. I'm no Scar. I'm no Scar. Or, yeah. Those of you who have seen it will know what I'm talking about there. Everyone else will just think I'm crazy. But that's normal. So, but yeah. No scar, no scar. Alright, I'm nuts. I'm sorry. Do I want to get greedy? Do I want to get greedy? No, I don't. No, I don't. Let's not get greedy. Do I want to put both of those back in? Yeah, alright. Why not? So, I'm expecting to see an Anarchist. That's, you know, a very likely play here. If not, I mean, I had one person do Inferno, and it was down to the wire. So there's the Anarchist. Oh man, it's so hot. Dang it. Even like, it doesn't even feel like my cooling is on. That's how hot it is. Ay ay ay. Alright, so let's have a look here. So I'm in a very good position here. Alright, let's just get the Clucko down, get back 4 health, get a big blocker, and pass the turn. So I've got thresholds for this guy. So obviously we would be happy if he now played another ground troop. Even a Phoenix would be fine. Yes, I can't do the Crocco next turn, but that's okay. I mean, he's not going to do a Phoenix, of course. Will he even do anything? That's the question. So it's Crushing Blow, I'm guessing? Or he's just going to kill it with a Burn or a Bolt. It's a Soul of Battle. Alright, well that's fine. I'm okay with... Oh, Craze Rummaging. It's such an annoying card at times. So I lost some decent cards there. It worked out okay though. Next turn we got this baby. So let's have a look what he ditched there. There's a Phoenix with 2 actions, so that's not that good for him. Is Blood Ruby a deck? Sort of. But not really, not common in the meta. There are some decent things you can do though, but not very common, as there are some downsides. So let's bring back... let's bring back that. And that. Yeah, that'll do. So now I'll just bluff the counter here, and pass the turn. You feel like he's not running Pyre? I mean, he might not be, but you know, he's only drawn 1 extra card. I mean, yes, we didn't see a Mind Pyre or anything get ditched. We'll see. I feel like it's kind of an essential card. Like, if he's not, like, if he's not running it, I'm surprised, because it is a very good sideboard card for against Wintermoon, obviously. If you're not running it main, you should be bringing it in from a reserves. That's great. So I did put the Clunkadon back in, so that's fine. But yeah, play another troop. Okay, he's gonna bolt me. That's rude. Alright, crazy. Really? Really? Alright, I'll do this anyway, even though it's kind of silly. I'm gonna actually grab the shard. So he's potentially got another Phoenix in hand, and he wants to transform this while also... Like, I actually wouldn't be sad if he got the... Provided this doesn't go bye-bye. Like, I will not be sad too much if he gets a Phoenix out here. So... he's gone! I still got this, though. And that's good. So I kept the peak as well. So I could potentially peek into a Crocco. So all he did there was transform this gun. That's fine. Oh, and he did a play mistake there. In a way, you know, he did the charge power. I mean, this would pretty much be useless anyway at this point in the game. Like, don't see most people running Tusker in this deck. But that's fine. So this is looking very good for me, obviously. Looking like I'm going to win this game. Like, I'm at 20 life still. And I've got Windsinger coming down. Like, this is going to be very, very hard, if not impossible for me to lose. As, you know, yeah. Yeah, that's great. Thank you very much. So yeah, now it's kind of impossible. Oh, this is a beautiful hand. Oh, there he is. That's a different one, but like I don't even think I'll use this yet. Maybe. I don't need to though. So no, I'm gonna be a little greedy. Like, to get past this, you know, yeah, it's maybe possible, but I can take the damage and I'll just eat it next time. But getting the counter, I mean, plus I can counter whatever he plays, so looking like it's over. Craze Rummaging can be good, can also kill yourself with it. Can kill yourself with it, which potentially he did. Like, maybe he got rid of too many good things of his own. Sorry, that's got video muted and chat popped out. I don't like to cheat. I mean, that's fine. I mean, I didn't see why you would cheat in a friendly little matchup. So, you know what? I don't have to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway because it's got card draw on it. And he's only got one of the cards, so I'll just save myself 2 damage. He's going to do another... Alright, I'm just going to stop that as well. And say, can you not? I would like to keep these, thanks. So that's now going to be a 3-3, I believe, so it still gets eaten. Still gets eaten. I'll take the 6 here. And pretty much, as I said, the game's over. He doesn't really have good top decks anymore. You know, Phoenix he can't play. You know, Anarchist is a bad draw. There's so many bad draws now for him compared to... So let's actually double check the side. Yeah, 3-3, so I was correct there. Very nice getting a card drawing Chloro. Let's do that first. Technically, I should have probably shuffled some things back in there, but at this point in the game, it is over. So we'll do that. I technically... No, never mind, doesn't matter. Oh man, it's so hot though. My brain is melting. My brain is melting. Yeah, I don't like Skarn either, because then players will often, you know, like he did even, they will often use their spells to your face and get, you know, not a whole lot out of them. And yeah, I mean, maybe it transforms, and maybe that is, yeah. But you can see he's in a position now where he pretty much can't win. But you know, I was on the play. Like, he'll be on the play next. I do have a good sideboard against this though, a decent sideboard anyway. Let's draw another card. Yeah, so he's got nothing now. There's another one of those. So yep, okay, I'll take that. Ouch! Whew, get burned. Get burned. So I think he might quit at this point. There is no coming back in this game anymore. There is not really a single, not a single card that he can play that does anything. Oh, okay, so he's getting that back. I didn't even notice. Not that I could stop it. Wait, oh, it goes on the stack? I guess I could have stopped it. I was taking my drink. For some reason, I mean, can you? Wait, no, you can't counter that effect, can you? I guess you can. I guess I probably have done that before and just forgot. But yeah, I was taking a drink and clicked through the button there. But oh, well, we'll give him a chance, I guess. Oh, too bad. There you go. It's another sideboard card for you. Too bad. So, alright, so now he's truly done. Yeah, he just said in chat, well, I'm screwed, yeah. Yep. I forgot about that Phoenix in the grave, and yep, I need to drink some more. Alright, so him being on the play, the thing I hate to see the most is actually the Anarchist. It is actually the Anarchist. That like is just really annoying. Oh, I forgot to bring in Moss. What do I normally bring him in for? Mossy, mossy, moss, 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 moss. Mossy, moss, 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 moss. So we haven't actually seen anything. Let's take that out. Yeah, that'll do. Now I'll probably get mind fired. People are like, no, Havoc, no. Crypt. I still sometimes say grave, whatever. I mean, the deck is still good. Like, the Phoenix deck is still good, but it has a lot of like weaknesses, and like, yeah. As I said before, I know of some decks that just really have really good matchups. Like, especially decks with, you know, Heat Wave and Burns. Like, like the Tetzot deck is yeah, just a really good matchup for it. I just make my deck, like, after sideboarding with the Tetzot deck when I've played this before in the past, just basically the whole deck becomes a counter deck after sideboard against this deck. But obviously, like I said before, the Tetzot deck has fallen out of favor because it doesn't have, you know, oh snap. Alright, that's pretty scary. I'm pretty scared. Pretty scared, especially now. This is where the Anarchist will be bad. So I hope he doesn't have an Anarchist for 2. So yeah, that will be pretty bad if he does. So we need to hope he doesn't. Whoa, sweating like a pig. So yeah, I'm gonna be pretty slow out of the gate here. So if he has Anarchist, I'm taking a lot of damage, and my hand isn't spectacular. Like, his aggression could just be too much, obviously. Don't have any Carnosaur. Don't do it! Don't do it! Oh, wait. Oh, is it Phoenix? That's pretty bad too. Like, any speed troop is bad, so if he's doing a Phoenix here... I'm sad. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Yeah, he's doing Phoenix. And he didn't make my hand that... It's a little... Sorry, wait, what? No Phoenix? Wait, did he lose it? Backfired! Backfired. Phew! Does he have an Anarchist to play now after? Well, I guess no, he would have done it already still, so... Yeah, I mean, that's the downside of Craze Rummaging. Is the downside. Phew. Alright, let's Chloro and... Chloro and... Bop. Alright, let's see. I'm gonna focus. Try to get a Whatsamajiggers, a Clucko or... No, okay. Take another one of those. So I was hoping to see a Clucko or a Carnosaur there. But thankfully, you know, his plan backfired there. It is the risk you take with it's called Craze Rummaging for a reason. This is Monday Meta Madness. He's a crazy mofo. So that's a bolt to the face, which is weird. Don't tell me he's got another... Wait, what's that? Now? Okay, that's a bad play there. That's a pretty bad play. Now, I'm hoping... Okay, that was just a burn? No. Alright, let's now watch an Anarchist go to the crypt here. Ready? Let's do it. Come on. Show me an Anarchist in the crypt. Come on. Come on, baby. Let's see it. Let's see it. Come on. Anarchist in the crypt. Honestly, anything in the crypt is fine here, but... oh, it must have been... Wait. Must have been another shard? Like, did he play a shard? I don't even know. But yeah, he did actually do a bit of a mistake there, which was to use this while only having one resource open. There's an amazing draw right there. That's what we were hoping to get earlier. That's going to basically probably seal the deal here. But I am surprised, like... Yeah, no, wait, was that burn? Oh, it did have the text on it, never mind. It did, yeah. Sorry, I looked at it, and then just completely, like, brain farted and didn't actually read it. So I look at it, oh, it's got no text. So, yeah, that charge power there was a very risky move, because if he had hit an Anarchist, it goes to the crypt. If he hits a Phoenix, which actually I guess is not the worst, because he's got 1, 2... Nope, that would still not be great, provided he doesn't, you know... So yeah, the game is now fully in my favor. But that was a very risky play. Like this charge power, you need to really respect it. If you just go twiddle that button just like a maniac, you know, bad things can happen. You might get a really good payoff, like a really good climax, but you got to be careful. You got to be careful, as it could you could get some spray in your face. All right, so I've obviously got some good stuff I can do here. So we've got resources for Crocco, we've got Windsinger resources, we've got a Sappers on the board, we've got a 4/4. I'm pretty much sitting pretty. And yeah, pretty much the game is likely over. As even if he was to cheat into play a Phoenix, I've got this. Yeah. So now if he has Mind Pyre, that's actually not a big deal. He's not going to race me with a Mind Pyre when I can just put a threat down next turn. Let's get that and that. These are both good things to have at this point. Yeah, the game is over, as I said. Oh, I'm getting some drop frames. That's no good. Why is that happening? That was only 1%. That's fine. That's fine. Alright, so Shard. So we could see an Anarchist here. But yeah, it doesn't look like it. Nope. Like if I draw Windsinger, it's completely over. Oh, he he got the shards. Bummer, dude. Alright, good game there. So we could do another one. There was Timbo Man who first challenged me. Then there was Roy. Yeah, Craze Rummaging. Like I've had someone do it on me in turn 1, and actually just. I think I still was okay. I probably ended up losing, but they almost made it so I had just one shard. Like I had one shard. Luckily, I got another off the top. I think, from memory. But you know that can obviously just be really bad. I mean, obviously they could do it to themselves as well, right? They could, just everyone loses shards and no one gets to play the game. So, yeah. But he took the gamble with the crazy rummaging there on turn 3, I think it was. And lost the Phoenix. Might have even been turn 2, I don't remember. But yeah, the gamble didn't pay off there. And yeah, it can win games, it can lose games. Jeebus. Jeebus. Oh, wow. Alright, so Roy, did you still want to have a match there, buddy? Alright, here we go. So we're going to do one more here. So, Moonshine. So, let's maybe we'll be in a matchup here where we can show off some of the Azure Fate, you know, some of the stuff I talked about earlier, what the Azure Fate can do. But yeah, if you want to actually see some really good games, there are those ones on YouTube, which is youtube.com/hexedhavoc. And just a reminder that the show will be every Monday at 6 PM PST. So, yeah. If that's, you know, not your time zone, just Google, basically, to get the conversion there. That's a pretty good hand right there. It's keepable. So I'm against Mono Sapphire. Okay. This is actually annoying, but the thing that is still... the problem still with Mono Sapphire, which is a problem that had it before, is if you don't get the Reese, like at a reasonable hour, like if you want to get in turn 2, 3, you know, like if you just don't get him until much later in the game, it's probably going to be too late for it to do anything. And it only has Reese Dreamer. Well, I don't know if he's running Dreamer, but that's pretty much the threats there. So grab a Sapphire here as for using the Jewel Shot, as we know we can do Wild next turn, Chlorophilia, and Arcane Focus, which will be a nice turn. So if he does, I mean, he's mulligan, so that's already a bit of a downside for him, but did he mulligan into a Reese? That's the question. Sethos, how you going there, buddy? Welcome to the show. How goes the Meta Madness? Goes pretty well, but it's bloody hot right here in Melbourne, Australia. So, yeah, let's do that. So we get to do the Rampy Ramps, helping out the what was I going to say? Alright, what do we want to take here? So, Crocosaur pretty okay in the matchup if they get Reese, but we don't even know if he's going to have that yet. Decent against a Dreamer, I guess, but Ripple is better against a Dreamer, I meant to say. Is, the temperature, let's actually have a quick look. I'm going to Google it right now, because it seems like it's 40 degrees! Oh, I guessed that earlier, I was like, it feels like it's 40. And it is actually 40. Oh lord, 40 degrees Celsius, folks. Celsius. I am melting. Like, I thought it was hot, like hotter than usual. And like, I thought it was going to be a hot day because it was like 9 AM and I let Bella out the front so she could do her business. And I was like, oh wow, it's a pretty warm breeze. I better put my cooling on, which I did, but oh, it's not helping at all. Alright, so he's doing something a bit different there. That is A-okay by me. Oh, Azure Fate right now would be amazing. Oh, sad face. Sad face. It's ball soup degrees, yeah. I gotta agree with that one. Yeah, it's rather hot. Just that's a bit of an understatement. Rather hot, yeah. Oh, okay, you know what, folks? I feel like this is an Arcane Shield deck that he's running. Like he's running Arcane Shield main. So because of this, I'm gonna do that now. Because if he had Reese, he would have tunneled it. So this is actually his main threat right now. So I'm going to do that now. Because I do feel it's an Arcane... you know, I don't want to do it while it's his turn. He does the Arcane and I've just lost a card for... You know, that I don't care about at all. So that means he's leaving up nothing of importance, really. If I get my Azure Fate, like I really want to just get Azure Fate. It would be so good right now. Still, I am getting very close to this. And now he's in that position of having to leave up the counters, basically. You know what? I'm going to peek now, because I'll still have 3 open, and I want to put both of these back in the deck. Oh. I want it, but her time has come and gone. And this is obviously a good card, so we'll maybe draw her. Australia, the place where everything wants to kill you, even the weather. Yep. How many dingoes have eaten your babies? I don't have any babies. But, yeah. It's hot. Alright, so yeah, like I said, he's in a position of having to leave up... Oh, he's also stuck at 3, it seems. But as you notice, he's not replaying the Thunderbird, which he could. Well, at least not yet. He can't afford to, right? He just cannot afford to do it. So this is where if I had a spy and I knew he didn't have a counter, I could just slam it down. But I can't just risk it being countered. But we've also got the interaction. If I get to 7, we've got that interaction I mentioned. Sadly, I don't have the Azure Fate down, though. We could do it here. Let's do this pick here. Alright, we're going to get the other peak, which has card draw. That's fantastic. So we're going to end the turn there. And, like, obviously this hitting me for 1. Creating, I mean, obviously if he gets too many of those, it could become a problem. He's very likely running Masteries of Time, but he's still at 3, so... It's okay. So now, very likely, I'm going to put him in that position I mentioned earlier when describing the deck and how the things it can do. Is if I grab a shard with this, which is actually very likely, like I'm going to say I'm going to grab a shard just by casting it. So let's just do that. Oh, he's tapped out. What? That's madness! This is the Meta Madness Monday! Wait, no, I never said that wrong. Monday Meta Madness! So that is madness right there. I'm very surprised he did that. So we get a Side of the Sun, that's good too. But that is just crazy. That is crazy, man. Now if I get a shard, I can do that to get another... Oh, this is... He's just killed himself. He just killed himself, folks. Basically, I mean, he either just didn't have a counter or a ripple, because both of those work against Windsinger, obviously. Because I'd have to tap out to play him. But yeah, he's just allowed me to play it. He's taken a gamble, I guess. I could cycle this. But obviously I've got, ability to... Yeah, there we go. But yeah, he pretty much just GG'd himself. So we'll just do that. Out you go, Windsinger. Guaranteed on the board. He can obviously put a stop on my turn to ripple it. You know, I don't have the Azure Fate spell shit. Here's all my Azure Fates. They're like, here we are. Are we late? Are we late? Yeah, just a bit. Just a bit. So I'll take that and that. They both got card draws. That's fantastic. So we may see a ripple before he draws a card. Like, he can put a stop on his main. You know, you can see I've got them off if I'm in a position where... okay, you drew a card first. So if he either didn't have the ripple or he just doesn't know about that interaction. So if he taps out here again, we get this down at the end. Well, I mean, I'll probably do this anyway. But we'll see. Like I'm in a very, very strong position now. Like, even if he ripples, because he's only at 4, I can just replay it. There's nothing he can do but ripple it again. So looking very good. That's obviously Reese. There's the ripple, which I could do that, and then you could verdict. But yeah, we'll just let that happen. Because now we can just do the Root Daddy. Hit in for 8, unless he has another ripple. Oh, it's hot. 40 degrees. What's my computer temperatures? Let's have a quick look. Hardware monitor. My CPU is at 50, so that's like 10 more than normal. My graphics card is at 40, so that's fine. Alright, so let's go to the end turn here. And will he attack even? Oh, let's not go to attack. Oh, too late. I could have ate the chosen there, but I did click that. I just, yeah. Bit of a punt there. Let's get up the punt. Punt. A small punt. It was just a little goal kick, and I missed the goal. All right, so let's play this now. Again, all he can do here is ripple this. Not the end of the world. Yeah, you just imagine if I had the Azure Fate down, how dead he would be. Basically, it would have been a lot easier than it's looking right now. So if he does have the other ripple, he will just let's attack first. Maybe he will bounce in, you know, to stop the 8 damage, which will be fine because then we get this down again, and then we can even just replay it since I'm at 8. So if he ripples here, then this comes down and I can just do the same thing once again, and he needs another ripple at that point. So honestly, he can't really afford to do it, most likely. I mean, I don't know his hand, but... the height of the summer, we hit 46 degrees Celsius, and that is hell of its own, yeah. It's not good. Not good. So he's thinking here, or is he? I don't know. Whew. Alright, so we are going to attack. It looks like he thought about it, so he probably has the ripple, realizes that he can't just let me play this again, otherwise I just replay that. So he probably thought about that. Now what I could do here, and which I might even do, Because there's really... The best he's going to do is actually Mastery of Time. Potentially chain it. Whoops. Why did I hit the button? I just punted. Another punt. Oh, the heat. The heat's getting to me, folks. Oh, that was not just a punt, though. That was a huge mistake. Yeah, so we get Job there to signal that one. So yeah, that was silly of me, obviously. Derp. Oh, it's just a spy. It's just a spy, so he's running spies as well. Whatevers. But yeah, so I stuffed up there, obviously. With the heat getting... I don't know, I was just, as I was talking... I do that, because sometimes when I talk too much, I'll click when I shouldn't be, or... Oh well. Oh well. Poop happens. Also, worry. How you going, buddy? Alright, so, yeah. That was a pretty big blunder, though. That was a pretty big blunder. So he's going to hit me for 4. That's rude. It's still looking fine, though. He's still got this to deal with. And he's still only at 4. And I'm at 9 resources, so... It shouldn't matter. Shouldn't matter. Like, I don't have to play this. Oh, he's just going to... Okay, alright, well, let's just do this, then. Just to be a little bit greedy, I'm going to counter it. A little greedy. A little greedy. Since it's not... I could have just ignored it, because now I might not have a counter, is why it's a little greedy. That's decent. So we'll get the Sapphire. You want to prioritize your Sapphires if Crocco's not important, or you've already got the 3, because that is better for your peaks. Bella! Oi! No. She's eating my pillow. Oi! Come on, girl. It's not pillow and madness... Monday pillow madness or anything. Stop eating it. You crazy bugger. Monday Bella madness? No, didn't call it that either, Bella. Don't scratch me. No. What's that? Sorry. What is your thoughts on that campaign? Alright, so my thoughts on the campaign, like, I'm more of a PvP player, as I'm sure most of you can tell. And the campaign, like, the main thing I'm looking forward to still is the raids. Yeah. Well, that's nice. So does he have a 5th resource? He kinds of... I can't even talk anymore, it's that hot. Bella, what are you trying to do? Now you're, like, nose kissing me? No, I'm not drinking the moonshine. I don't drink alcohol. Bella, what are you trying to do, girl? Hey? Hey, have a kiss. So yeah, the campaign... Bella! Alright, let's try and peek for a floobs. Peeking for a floobs, Bella. There it is. There's a floobs. That's a floobs right there. They should rename Counter Magic to Flibbity Floobs. That'd be sweet. I'd like that. Flibbity Floobs. We'll just call a card Flibbity Floobs. Yeah. Alright, so I figured he might. But I'm okay with this. He's tapped out now. I can have some Crocco meal times. I mean, he's just dead in the air, because I can Ripple, obviously. So we'll just kill him, Holy moly, it's hot. It is very hot. So let's just say GG. And we'll go to game 2. Oh, it's hot. Alright. Yeah, alright, there we go, GG. So what was I saying now? I forgot now. Now that I started saying Flibbity Floobs, I forgot what I was... Oh, right, the campaign. So, it was alright. I thought it was pretty well done. It was pretty well done. Sorry, give me a second here. That'll do. So yeah, I thought the campaign was pretty well done, but for me the replayability is just not there for me. I'm not interested in trying to get all the items and all that sort of stuff. But I'm really looking forward to raids though, like obviously, and it was fun leveling up my champion though. But once you get it to the max, obviously when we get the further skill tree and all that stuff, that'll I'm sure it'll get a lot better. But yeah, very good start. What do you think of Kova? What? I don't even know what it is. What's that? I don't know what Kova is. I'm gonna Google this. Maybe I'm gonna be looking like an idiot here. It's like, you don't know what that is? What's wrong with you? So, first thing that comes up is Conservatory of Vocal and Instrumental Arts High School or something. Yeah, no, that's obviously not what you're meaning. So, alright, we have a...
You're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz.
I'm on the draw. Who just followed me there? Nuke Man 117. Thank you very much for the follow. So let's get a... I mean, we don't need to get the wild just yet. But
See the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz.
Oh, never mind. Never mind. Wizard powers. Angry... Oil... What? Angry Oils? Oh, it's Havoc backwards. Well done. You got me. Free fat all the rest of this map. Yeah. For a second, I thought that guy's name was Oiled Lizard or something. Angry Oiled Lizard. That'd be, yeah. Oily Angry Lizard. Yeah. So I have a pretty good hand here. So he's got his pressure now. We don't know. Like I said, I thought he might be running Arcane Shield. So we'll probably find out at some point. But hopefully I'm at enough resources that I can do this and this. Like that's what I'm going to wait for if I want to try it. Like I could do it now, but I'd much rather do this. And I'm even going to ignore it. Like I'm going to put this down. If he doesn't run Sapper's Charge, well then I don't even care about the rage damage. Like at some point I will, but this potentially will just heal me more than enough before I want to stop this. And he can't even, if he puts another troop down. Yes, I took out my Crocos, which I didn't need to against what I saw him running, but I did anyway. So he's only got one open, so I can obviously, if I want to, I can Ripple. But we want to get the side down, or an Azure Fade if we draw it. I think the side is still probably the correct play though, if I was to draw that. So that makes it an easy choice there. So we'll grab a Sapphire here because we have a third wild already. So we'll grab that. We'll tap out. Now I've got a threat on the board, as it will allow me to play multiple things in a turn. Don't want to put that in the thing. Who just messaged me? Let's have a look. Bella, don't eat the pillow. Oh. So how long have we been streaming for now? 2 hours and 11 minutes. Damn. This show, I mean... I guess I can do... I mean, hopefully... Yeah, I mean, I rambled a lot, but the deck has a lot of intricate little subtle things that you might not notice. Obviously, there was a lot to talk about. And I probably even missed some things that I forgot to mention, like I almost did. But there's a lot of little intricate things that can, how you can control what your opponent's doing and all that sort of stuff. So it's not as straightforward. It's just okay. So are we going to see Arcane Shield here? Let's see how my wizard powers are. Let's have a look. Are my wizard powers working today? Maybe the heat is making it malfunction. Might just be a verdict. It's a nothing. All right, it's a floobs. It's a floobs. So he's actually got Spy and Reese. Possibly he did have the thing there, but he saw that I'm doing this because he's got Spy Underground, obviously. So he didn't want to do that. He's likely. Let's grab ourselves a Root Daddy. Let's heal for 4. Thank you very much. Bella, look. Your pillow here. Your pillow. I'm gonna smack you on the head with it. Come on, come get it. Come get it. Come on. Eat that one. Not my one. No. It's mine. Alright, I got my pillow back now. I have to save my pillow. Little bugger. Guaranteed, what's this set for we're talking about here? So, set for won't be out, but maybe at least be announced or play testable. Yeah, that's what I was saying before, that I have a... What was that, Bella? It was a yawn and a growl at the same time. She does that a lot, actually. It's cute. But yeah, I have a feeling that they're gonna probably reveal some stuff at the Invitational. Like, I would not be surprised if they're like, Spectator mode! Hi! Ah! So, Dreamer is actually pretty annoying. Since I can't play this yet, I'm going to cycle, which could backfire if I just draw a shard, for example. That's not too bad. That's not too bad at all. Because now if he swings at me, and, well, the Spy's going to untunnel, so he will have a blocker. So, yep, anyway, that's a thing, but it doesn't have Spell Shield, so I do have cards that can deal with it. didn't bring in crippled, I guess. Ah, another shard. No. No. Oh well. So he's going to get another card here. He's going to also have a... Like, I'm actually in a pretty tough position here because I'm actually getting a little flooded. And he's got Reese, obviously, and I have no answers for that. And he knows what's in my hand, so that's a big deal. I'm actually probably boned, honestly. So, you know, I'm needing to top deck. It's as simple as that. I now regret, obviously, not having my Crocos. Like, Croco would be something he can't answer. Like, his only option would be counter, because I've got her down. So if I had a Croco for these, it would be great. Not to mention this. So yeah, maybe I shouldn't have taken Crocos out. Oh well. Yeah.
You're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of
That's
Oz.
another win condition there. Incantation of Ascent. It's pretty good, but I'll just verdict that one there. So I'm again, like I said, I'm very flooded here. So oh wow, wow. What? Why you do this, Roy? You letting me have a card? It's very nice of you, Roy. But maybe it's part of his plan. I don't know. Maybe he's got... I mean, maybe he's just hoping I get nothing because he knows I've got nothing thanks to the spy. And I got nothing. But if I get something... Sadly, if I get a Mass Dingle, that's not going to work even. But I need to get something here, and it's probably not going to be enough, honestly. My best draw is Rootfather, most likely. Oh. Yeah, see, if I got Rootfather, I could play it now and he couldn't do anything about it. And then I'd have an 8/8 with card draw, and I could heal for a bunch. Would have been pretty decent. But I think I'm actually just dead now. Yeah, very, very likely he's got me. You know, bit too many shards this time. And that's why you don't run more than 22 shots. Bummer. Ah, my pillow smells like Bella. She's been like salivering it, slubber. Yeah, it's not good. So I'm taking a lot of 10 damage, and then Mastery of Time, and then just, yeah, double Mastery maybe. We're definitely going to see a Mastery here, most likely. There's a very high probability he already has it, or gets it, you know, off this, or gets a shard, plays Peak, grabs Mastery. You know, there's all these interactions so there's a lot of ways he can potentially grab Mastery, and there's no way he's not running it, as he is running the stuff you want to use Mastery of Time with. From my original mono staff. It doesn't look like he's doing the cloud tech, the Mirror Knights and Stormcloud. Looks like he's, you know, put in some incantation and stuff. So he gets another good. So Mastery of Time is GG right now. And I'm ready to hit the button. I mean, there's really nothing I can draw, really. Mass Poly is my only out. But there it is. As expected. The alternate art, Mastery of Time. Take an additional turn. And I am dead. So on to game 3. Whew. So what would have helped me there is getting, you know, like Wednesday would have been good, Rootfather would have been good. Yeah. But if he didn't have that, he would just have probably a counter and stuff. So let's actually bring... Like, I'll take that out. I don't know why I brought that in. It's not actually that good. We'll go with... with 2 of those. One more card. Do 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 do. Screw it. I'm gonna take out a Suffocate. Yeah, whatever. Whatever. Oh, it's hot. It's hot. So just a reminder to everyone, once this episode is uploaded to YouTube, if you vote in the comments, on the YouTube comments, you will go into the drawing for a prize, an undecided prize, but it'll be something decent. I'll decide that, and all you gotta, I should mention what you're voting on. Again, the heat, it's melting my brain. All you gotta do is vote on the deck you would like me to see, break down, you know, analyze next week. So, you know, if you want to see me do Wild Diamond or Mono Blood or Blood Diamond or Mono Ruby, you know, whatever it is. Obviously, if you're going to say Mono Blood, specify. I mean, you can obviously just put a link to the deck list, like from HEX Meta. That obviously is probably the easiest way to cast your vote. Just put a link in the comments. That would be fine. And that way, I obviously know exactly what you're talking about. Because if you just say Mono Blood, well, that could be there's many variations. Obviously, there's discard, more discard-heavy mono blood decks. There's you know, more threats with like killipedes, vampires, all that jazz. So again, I'm in that position of needing a wild. I am on the play though. So if I get a wild, I get a turn 3 sight. I mean, I don't have the Azure Fate again, but it's a keepable hand. Could obviously be bad if I just draw floobs, some flibbity floobs. But yeah, we'll see. Oh, look, it did it again. Wizard powers. Alright, so there we go. Get some rampy ramps. Got to have those ramps installed for the handicaps. Handicap ramps. I don't know what the hell I'm saying. I'm sorry. Alright, so here's the Thunderbird again. Not really concerned. Again, we can put this down, and he's going to want to have to ripple that, or not. And we get another great draw there, which is we're actually going to grab the wild because we have this guy. And he's put himself, like, now that I've put the Crocos back in, which I shouldn't have taken out, from what I saw in game 1. Like, it was not the correct move. I'll blame that one on the heat as well. Elves like shiny things? What? Hang on, why is the elf warrior... Oh yeah, the elves are allowed to do that sort of stuff. They're cheating. So I'm going to take 2 damage here, whatever. So he's got reach down. That's okay. If I had an Azure Fate now, it would be great because he's tapped out, and then I'd be in a fantastic position. That could actually be just a spy. And we don't get it, sadly. Don't get it. Yeah. Alright, so I'll pass the turn here. If he taps out, you know, then I get this down, which would be the wrong move, obviously. You don't want to tap out against someone who's about to be on 6 resources in a Wintermoon deck, because their key card, as mentioned earlier, is the Wind Singer. And yeah, so let's see if he makes the correct play here. Very likely he will, as he does have a threat and it is doing damage to me. So, I mean, maybe I should have rippled here. Which he probably, you know, again, we don't know if he's running that Arcane Shield. So I'm not going to do it just yet. I'm going to take the hit. Let's just take the hit. Play another troop. I can dream. Okay, so he plays another troop. So now I at least can make him... So now if I draw a counter, like a counter is all I really need. Because he only has 1 open. So a counter magic right now, let's go. Close. See, if I had a counter here, I could guarantee, you know, this is what sight also allows. I could play this, protect it, because of the sight. Sadly, I can't do it. I'm going to have to just make him use a counter on this, basically. Which is okay. I'm okay with this. I mean, he could also still do Arcane Shield, but yeah, there is a counter. So I'm going to tap this. He's going to be like, oh, no, I could still get Verdict, and I'm going to try, obviously. I'm going to try. And nope. Okay, that's fine, though. That's fine. So now that he's tapped out, yeah, we'll just riffle this now. Like, I've healed for a nice chunk, so I'm back to 21 health. We'll do that. We'll have the Croco countered. That's okay. It's not the end of the world. And, yeah. Let's see if this pays off here. Whoops. I stuffed up again. I wanted to actually put these back in the deck, but oh well. So it looks like he's just going straight to end turn. Now, if he had Orshad here, Mastery of Time would be the best play for him. But it seems... I mean, he still might. No. Oh, wow. He just punted. Alright, let's get the punt counter up there for my opponent. That's a punt. Unless he's got something planned. But, I mean, well, he knows I didn't have Alright, let's do this. Let's go... Wind Singer. He knows I didn't have a counter, right? So maybe he's just like, yeah, I'll let you have it, which is still probably not the correct move to do such a thing. Oh, almost didn't play this. Like, I'll heal for 7 by playing this first. Grab a Sapphire. Like, now I can even play this if I really want to, which I might. But I think the better option is to play this and just get a counter, and then play this on my opponent's turn. That's the beauty of the quick. So we're going to put that in. I'll still grab the 7-cost spell. Ah! Don't walk on the keyboard. No. So we'll do that. We then will focus for 1. Ooh. Alright, yep, this is actually really good. Because now, if he... Well, he's honestly, he's probably going to do Mastery of Time if he hits a shard. So I will actually take a decent chunk of damage in the air, and he'll get this out. But if he does Mastery, I'll do this in response, which will get Spell Shield, and that's actually going to be a really big deal. And that's why I've taken this here. So plays that. So no Mastery. I'm getting a card, so thanks for that. That's beautiful. So no Mastery of Time, but he's got Probable Counter, which we can force him to use it, and then just have the Croco Mealtime, as I've mentioned. And that'll be a Spell Shield Croco Mealtime. So can't even interrupt it. Can't even interrupt that meal. So we're going to force out the counter here. Doesn't even attack me, actually, which is interesting. But I guess he's it's probably the right move. So let's force out the counter. He has to counter here. Yeah, or suffocate. It's probably going to... Whoa! Okay, so I guess that's why he tapped out. He just didn't have it. Just didn't have it.
You're off to see
that's
the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz.
It's just game. If he doesn't have counter, well then this is going to have its meal, as I said. So either he just didn't feel he needed to counter that, but nope, there's the meal. So now we'll just eat those. Because I don't mind if he gets more specters. That's fine by me. So I do this. I will now, again, here's the side of the sun doing his work. We're at 34 health. The peak is the correct move here, but first let's put in those two. They're fine cards to have at the moment. Time Ripple on this is fine. Yeah, it's quite possible actually. This is what I'm thinking. Oh, well, let's confirm. Let's confirm. So I'm thinking he possibly has Grelk, very likely. He may even have the Mastery, and he's banking on me not having, a counter basically, and he wants to try and get, like, Grease comes out, Mastery of Time, get a bunch of robots, then Grauk and go for the win that way, which I've healed for a lot now, so that probably won't work. Let's see if I'm correct. Technically, I should be attacking first, but it's fine. Never mind, his hand is garbage. Can confirm, hand is garbage. All those dead cards there. Can't stop troops with verdicts, so yeah. We now know why he played the way he did. Like, he did what, like I said, he did a punt, which was to tap. He had no choice, though. He's like, well, he could have bluffed, right? That's his option. He's either bluff or just tap out, which he decided to tap out by playing a... So I'm going to draw 2 cards here, and we'll see what they are. Oh, that's actually pretty sexy, so we'll do that first. Then we'll do that one. Thinning out the deck very nicely here and getting a load of resources at the same time. Then doing a card drawing focus and seeing what we grab off that. So we get a backup Windsinger if we needed it. And there's a Verdict, so pretty much there's nothing he can do now. His best bet is a Grout. Like, that's will delay, but I don't think that's going to be good enough. So he gets the Reese, and oh, I called it. There's the Grout. So no, okay. So he can actually Grout now. So it is actually possible for him to turn it around. Like that's why I mentioned Grout, because it is kind of his only way back into the game. So and it stops my side, stops me obviously doing any damage. So that was a very nice clutch top deck there. I mean, I did say that's what he needed, and he got it. So props there, because now he could. Well, the fact that he's at 5 resources is actually the kicker here. Is even if he gets Mastery of Time, which is kind of what he needs to really, to really hurt me. Like, I'm drawing pretty badly here, but without the Mastery of Time, I mean, if he gets Grauk into Grauk into Grauk, and I don't get anything, like even just a Time Ripple would be enough. Like, you know what? I could even just play this here, and I am actually going to do it because there's really no reason not to. It will give me a Spell Shield Windsinger and a blocker. So there's no reason not to do that. Quick actions, we want to see quick actions here, so Peak is valid. It's not a quick action, but it's already got card draw on it, so we'll take it anyway. But the odds of him getting Grout here is next to none, and Mastery of Time is not what he wants, because, I mean, he will probably do it, but I've got the answer for that. Wow. Wow! This is insane! Oh, it's like, alright, this is what he needs, and he's just getting them. He's getting them. That's pretty funny. That is pretty funny. Wow. The top decks are real. This is reminding me of Cup of Fate Season 1. I was playing against my Mono Sapphire list. I was using the Mono Sapphire Beta with my Wild Sapphire, which was kind of the same stuff in this deck, right? It was Side of the Sun, and obviously it's now changed that we have set 3, but this is kind of going back to those days. I had my Mono Sapphire Beta that I then lost because of this card here, this pesky Grout. Are we gonna see a repeat? And the funny thing was as well, I was in that. At the same time in that game, I was in the better position, like by far. Had drawn many more cards than my opponent, and lost because of Grauk off the top. Are we going to see that again here today? Probably not. That's a pretty big deal. That's a pretty big deal. Alright, so I think the correct play here... it's actually a little bit tough. Like, because if he gets... No, he can't do that. So we're just going to lose the Croco here. Whatever. Whatever. So we'll just do that. Like, if he made a Jank bot, that would have been the worst thing if he made a Jank bot and then got the Grelks, because then Mastery of Times and all that sort of stuff could have triggered and I just cry and... Yeah. Anyway, I still could lose here. We don't know what he's going to draw this time. And there we go, now we get it, so now it shouldn't matter. Shouldn't matter now. Like, because he can only do, what, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 damage right there. Mastery of Time or Grout doesn't matter, so there's really nothing he can play anymore. And now I'm just gonna, he's gonna probably hold back here. So yeah. Very likely. I mean, he might swing with some, but yeah, didn't think so. Most of my stuff is card drawing things, so yeah. Another shard. That's a bit unfortunate to get all these shards, but again, we go for the Sapphire. And now we have to make the choice of what do we attack with. Probably these two. Yeah, I think I'll go with these two. I could actually do that as well. Yeah, I'll do that as well. It's fine. I'll whittle down his board state. Hey Fridge, how you going, man? Why? Because of the matchup. Hey, what did you say? Wish Fridge Hex would... Like, why though? Because you know the deck was my creation, right? That I gave to Fridge, which then he won with. So, yeah. That Mono Sapphire was my creation. Weird science! How come Havoc isn't using his charge power? Because, I mean, I did? Yeah, I did last time, but there's also a lot of flubes that I don't want to get back, basically. So, yeah. Whew. Alright, so what even happened there? I don't even know. Guess he did some jumps. It, again, doesn't matter. There's a card drawing Crocodile. Because I'm so far ahead in resources, not to mention, I'm basically sitting at 24 resources right now. If I needed them. So he's just gonna do nothing, I'm guessing. But there's no way he can stop me from casting anything. Like, if I want to cast something, I'm casting it. You're not stopping me, buddy. So we're gonna go Croco Meal Times. And he's probably gonna quit the game. Like, he basically has to stop this. So he's gonna try a counter, maybe counter Verdict. Like, we know, yeah, so he's got the counter. So I'll counter the counter. And he's gonna now Verdict, and I'm gonna Verdict the Verdict. And then we're gonna heal for a bunch of health. It's gonna be delicious. So, Verdict. 30, heck, oh yeah, 36 including Windsinger. What's that question for? I don't know. But yeah, so that's him now saying GG's. And we got there. So, let's let that resolve. Let's have some Croco Mealtime to finish it off. Yum yum yum. And we'll just go om nom. Om nom nom. Croco Mealtime. And the other relevant thing about Crocos and Azure Fate is, you know, when you cycle it, you've always got a Spell Shield Croco, which is pretty nice. If you're against decks that's relevant against it, of course. I wanted to heal. So there we go. We got there. He did have, but he didn't have enough resources, right? And that's why I was saying I've got all the resources in the world that I could possibly need. Didn't have all the counters and stuff, but he only had 5 resources, so he could only do a counter and a verdict. So, and I had a counter and verdict of my own, and enough resources to back it up, even without Side of the Sun. So there we go. What's this mail we got here? Let's have a look. Probably something not selling yet. That is indeed what it is. So there you have it. That is the end of that. And I think the end of the show. I think there was something I was going to do to end it. Let me check. Let me check. Was there? Let me have a look over here. I think that was it. I can actually close PowerPoint now, I guess. So yeah, I could have closed that before. Holy balls, it's hot though. It is very hot. So again, if you go vote on YouTube when the video is uploaded, my channel is youtube.com/hexedhavoc. Follow me at Twitch. Well, you know, I meant to say Twitter there, but yeah, obviously follow me on Twitch as well if you're not already. And I'll be doing the show every week. Vote on YouTube for the deck you would like me to see me analyze next week. And yeah, sadly with this episode, like, I mean, obviously I talked like a crazy, like a maniac for quite a while there. But obviously in future episodes, since they're likely going to be decks that I haven't already created and tweaked and iterated on several times over, like I have done with the Moonshine deck, you know, if it's a deck that I'm using, you guys have voted for, very likely in the episodes I'll be able to also show improvements that I can make to the deck. Like I said earlier, I've already done some improvements to the Wild Diamond deck and all that sort of stuff. And what is Fridge saying here? Yeah, I invented Mono Sapphire and lost with it in the second. Ignore that I lose to a very... What are you doing, Fridge? You dirty bugger. You dirty bugger, man. Well done for inventing Mono Sapphire. Even Bella's like... No, Bella's mad. She's like, hey, that was my master's creation. Come here, Bella. Come on. Come here, go. There we go. So again, vote in YouTube. You'll be going to the drawing for a prize. But yeah, other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. It went a lot longer than I expected. I honestly thought I'd have trouble doing half an hour. I honestly did. Obviously, playing games, obviously, that went on for a while as well. But I did talk for a very long time. Hopefully you guys got a very good understanding of the deck there and why it's good in the meta, and the strengths obviously over traditional Wintermoon and all that sort of stuff. Hopefully that you know, is clear there. But yeah, feel free, if you've got questions, feel free to hit me up either in game, which is Havoc, send me a message on Twitter, Twitch, Steam even. You can add me on Steam if you like. It's Havoc Oz. You invented playing Angels of Dawn and Diamond Shot. Nice, well done. Yeah, what obviously the specific deck is what I was referring to. But yeah, so again, thank you for watching, and for those of you watching on YouTube, please consider damn it, I can't even talk. It's the heat. It's the heat, I tell you. Please consider subscribing and check out the other videos. As I mentioned earlier, there are also the 4 tournament rounds from Saturday's 5 Shards Weekly. The one I didn't win. They are uploaded on YouTube, and yeah, check them out. There were some good games, and yeah, against you know, obviously decks in the meta. There was round 1 was Mono Blood, round 2 was Blood Sapphire, I believe. Then it was Wintermoon, and then it was the Mono Blood again, which I succumbed to. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you all next week at 6 PM on Mondays. So thank you for watching, and again, go vote on YouTube when that's up there. Hopefully I'll get that uploaded within the hour, basically. I think that's all. I think, oh, you want a link? You want a link? Alright, so it's basically just youtube.com/hexedhavoc. Same with, you know, my Twitter, it's hexedhavoc as well. So that'll get you there. I will put the link in the chat though for you. As obviously it's a lot quicker, easier for you to just click something than type, I understand. So there you go. I'll put all the links there. And yeah, so if you're watching on YouTube, I hope you enjoyed it as well. But if you want to watch it live in the future, that is on Twitch. At the link there, as you can see, every Mondays at 6 PM Pacific starting time. And yeah, again, vote for the deck you would like to see next week. Thanks again, take care, and have a good day. I'm going to go melt into a ball of, I don't know, flubes. It's so bloody hot right now. Alrighty, I'm out. I'm going to probably actually go have a cold shower. Is YouTube... Well, okay, some more questions. What I should actually say is there any last questions before I go have a cold shower? So let's see here. Mr. Breadstickies, I don't exist at all. Alright. Cool. Is YouTube the Japanese version? What did I typo it? Did I? Oh, someone else did. Urub. Urub. That's okay. I see. I see what you did there. But yeah. Any last questions before I go? Ulube wants the Urub link. He Asian. All right. So yeah, I'll wait here for a few more minutes for some last questions. If anyone has any, either about the deck or about the show in general, or just anything. If you also have any ideas for the show, feel free to throw that at me as well. Another thing, actually, I'll mention another last thing. Something I was not going to talk about yet, since it's still something I only just thought of this morning. But I'm actually going to do a Patreon page with some interesting things on there. And so I haven't thought of all of the stuff yet. But I might as well talk about it a bit here, because I will put the link. It'll have a link below my stream once I've got it set up. But some of the ideas I thought of was basically at a $5 level. Like if you do $5 a month on the Patreon thing, what I will do, it's going to be like a mystery hex item, basically for $5. So you can show support and get a mystery hex item, and it can be, you'll get something from either from 1 platinum up to 2,000 platinum. So you might get, 1 week or 1 month, you might get, an Angel of Dawn, for example, or you might get a Flibbity Floobs. So that's going to be the first, just a $5 thing a month if you would like to show that support, and you'll get something back for it, obviously, and sometimes you'll get something really good back. So that's just, a mystery item. That's going to be the first tier. At least that's the plan. That's what I've thought of so far. At the next tier, I was thinking of doing something like for $15 or something. If you do that much each month, you can you'll get the same thing from the $5 tier. Like you'll still get that. So a random item from 0 to 2,000 platinum. And also you get to be the boss. So you get to tell me what to do. So say I'm in a draft, you can tell me you want me to pick the worst cards in the pack, every pack, and try and win with it. If you want me to do that, you get to be the boss and do it, you sick bastard. So if that's what you want to do, that's an option. But that is one of the tier levels there I'm thinking of doing. So you'll get to tell me what to do if it's from drafting or play this constructed deck in the tournament, Havoc. Because again, you get to be the boss. So that's one of the tiers. Another one, I don't know what cost I'm going to put this yet. But if you would like, like one-on-one coaching, or just, help with drafts or constructed, whatever it may be, I can then, jump on Skype with you, like say once a month or whatever, for X amount of hours, potentially like, a whole draft, for example, and that will be at a different tier level. So if you're like a new player and you really want to, someone who's experienced in obviously constructed and drafting and all that sort of stuff, that's just an option. So. And then that's what I've thought of so far. So if any of that sounds interesting and you would like to show support that way and also get something back, because each tier will give you that mystery item every month, which will be from 0 to 2,000. Maybe I'll do more than that. I don't know yet. Still thinking of that stuff, but that will be below my stream on the stream page there on twitch.tv/hextavok. There'll be a link to the Patreon page once I've set it up. So that's it. That's it. So again, I hope you enjoy the show, and I hope you look forward to the upcoming episodes. Take care again, and have a good day. See you later.